What's happening? Benton here. Was just trying to catch up with the the replay of Yurt's live stream. I hung out and chopped it up with my boy Bernaire, the black truck driver from, and I think Yurt plays some of that later on in the stream. I didn't quite make it that far. Uh, I was having a difficult time getting through Jeff misrepresenting the live stream. So thankfully, if anybody's, hey, what's happening, AJ Lloyd? Good to see you, brother. Uh, if anybody's interested, they can actually go back and watch the entire live stream. Nobody called him a communist, by the way. Like, Jeff was called a communist 0 times. He was also called gay 0 times. Now, Rusty Smackleford had very astutely picked up on something that Jeff, a drunken Jeff, had said on stream when he referred to something about my lifestyle as sexy. And Rusty then believed Jeff to be gay and asked Jeff on stream, well, you're gay, right? He said something like that. And it was cleared up that Jeff is not gay. No one called him gay. Now then, Rusty went into an accurate description of some things that occurred on a live stream. And then Jeff wasn't understanding the point, and I summed it up. I said, well, Rusty seems to be implying that based on what has occurred in the past and his observations of you, Jeff, he's saying that you're sus. But Jeff was sauced, by the way, incredibly. He was very intoxicated. And one thing about very intoxicated people, and I know this from personal experience, they miss all the nuance. They miss lots of cues. Lots of things go over their head. He was called a communist 0 times. Now, he said a specific wording, and I jumped in and said, that's communism. I said, when you prescribe the ways in which I'm permitted to interface and communicate, that's literally communism. And because he had a feeling about that, because Jeff had a feeling about it, because he does have the spirit of his mama, or he's a liar, one of the two, he decided that it felt like he was called a communist. No, he was not. He said a specific wording, and if my laptop wasn't dead, much to my chagrin, I'm not able to play the live stream back and pause and respond to it, which is what I certainly would do. And I will be purchasing a computer in the very near future. Yes, I will. I'm waiting to see how much my next check is, because I'm constantly anticipating this short check that never comes, thankfully. But it's like, oh, because it's never happened, maybe this will be the week my check won't be very much. Yeah. Well, maybe he did. I don't know, but perhaps he did. I didn't get that far. I will get that far at some point. And by the way, Content Machine, I will take credit for being the Content Machine. But I do find it somewhat annoying that these things were misrepresented and taken out of context when everything occurred within a specific context. Because, by the way, and this is something I pointed out to Jeff, I said, when did the right wing start weaponizing the language and using it as a club? And I didn't use this terminology. I don't remember how I phrased it. But that was the message is, I'm like, why are so-called right-wingers, by the way, not calling him a communist, in fact, implying that he's probably conservative, whatever that means. But he misses all of this nuance because he's intoxicated, which I guess that's my fault for humoring drunken bozos on what is supposedly my channel, as much as I would like for it to be our channel, EBT. As much as I would like for it to be our channel, EBT, the fact is, I guess it's my fault for allowing people who are drunk, and he's kind of an idiot. Let's face the reality. He's kind of a dumbo. Now, is that because he's drunk? I don't know. But if he actually believes he was called gay, if he actually believes he was called a communist, if he actually believes he was called a leftist, I even corrected him because he tried to defend himself as if I called him a leftist. I said, no, I didn't say you were a leftist, you bozo. And I attempted to explain to him, I said, why is the right wing, and I don't even like that terminology, why is the so-called right wing adopting the tactics of the left wing? That's the left wing that's usually running around discrediting human beings based on the words they've said, based on the way they choose to interact. And then I don't know if this gets brought up later in the live stream. I'm from motherfucking Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and I will tell this company, get me a load to Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and I will jump out with my fucking camera set up, and we'll stroll through the fucking streets of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and I will poly with my peeps, and y'all will see why I almost never say that word. There's a very specific reason, and Paul addressed it. There's a very specific reason I almost never say that word. I have said it a couple of times on stream. I would like to think in a specific context. I don't even like using the phrase the N-word because, like Dick Gregory said, when white folks got together in a room and decided you can't say the word anymore, and now it's the N-word, he said, wasn't a black person in the room. See? I mean, who decided that we get to say the N-word, but you can't say the actual word? That's bullshit. Meanwhile, I'm not saying that word. I've said that word very infrequently. Now, if I want to make a point to my racist daddy, I might say the and that word, meaning a specific group of people that lives in our hometown, which is, by the way, 75% black. And I grew up in the motherfucking Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses. Half the congregation was black folks. So I don't say that word, generally speaking. I don't believe in saying that word, generally speaking. But if for some reason Kim feels like he needs to say it, why does he have to be discredited and negated at the level of his humanity by people who are LARPing as so-called conservatives? Jeff has taken the leftist communist programming. He's not aware of it. I don't think Jeff knows that leftist communists have crawled into his brain and programmed his brain. So when he uses specific phrasing, and I am very attuned to the communist programming, I say, that's communism, sir. That's literal motherfucking communism. Communism, that's not the same as calling someone a communist. I called ProvoKid a communist. I did not call Jeff a communist. Okay? And Jeff is sus at the level of sexuality. So what? That's his business. But he can't come on a stream and more or less say that he finds me sexy, which he did, and we're not, and somebody without somebody calling him out on his potential repressed homosexuality. What is this, man? Is this real? Is this real? Meanwhile, I'm not the speech police, but like I said on stream, and I don't know if this got played on Yurt, if me and Kim was in real life, and this is the difference between online and real life, Yurt, because if I was in real life with Kim and he kept saying that word, at a certain point I'm gonna be like, all right, man, it's been real, and I will never see that motherfucker again. I mean, for real. And go to my hometown. I will take Kim to my hometown. I guarantee you he won't say it, or maybe he will. Maybe he's bad enough. Maybe he's still bad enough. See, I'm not physically strong enough to stand up to the people I would have to stand up to say that word. Number two, my racist daddy tried to end. Here's how crazy my daddy is. Took me to the Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witnesses in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, majority black county, majority black city. Half the Kingdom Hall is blacks. Raised me up with black folks, and then tries to indoctrinate me into racism. Meanwhile, I'm looking around, and I'm thinking to him, I didn't tell him because he's big and scary. I'm a little kid. I'm thinking, I can't claim some of these white folks, Daddy. So I can't. No, sir, I can't be indoctrinated into your racism, Daddy. My father, Mr. Benton, because I can't claim some of these white folks. You telling me that these guys are okay? And meanwhile, I literally had black guys in my high school fucking wearing glasses, reading books, talking about ideas with fucking X-Clan t-shirts on and goddamn wearing a fucking, one of them Back to Africa hats. And I liked hip-hop, been listening to rap since the fucking early 80s. And I'm literally looking up to some of them as a role model in my life. And then I see some pieces of garbage over here. Now we also have the ones, if I might say to my dad, yeah, the blank, because I'm talking to my dad in the terms he understands. Ain't nobody around, by the way. We're not in the town. You see what I'm saying? Meanwhile, my daddy had a business in the town. My grandma started a business in the town that still exists to this day in the motherfucking hood. Go to your Google and type in The Hut near Pine Bluff, Arkansas. That's my grandma started that shit. It's in the deepest hood of the deepest hood in that town. You can pull up where motherfuckers get shot and killed. You can pull up the map and it's all around that motherfucker. And I spent the weekend in that motherfucker all the time with my grandmama in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. What you gonna tell me about it? But you're right, Paul. These white boys didn't grow up around that. And hell, I'm white, but I'm half black culturally. I will claim that. Yes, I will. Meanwhile, I'm as fucking, my skin's as white. My skin's white like paper, Jack. I know what I am. We ain't got that skinhead garbage in Arkansas. We ain't got that. We got some KKK up north. My mom and my sister moved up to North Arkansas. My daddy was trying to move up there. And they want, especially with me getting sick and shit, they want me to move up there. I'm not living with them racists, y'all. Ain't no black folks up there. I need a mix of people. I'm not living up there with them racists. I'm not doing it. And meanwhile, my dad finally came to his senses. He moved down to Southeast Arkansas, where he's from. I mean, what is this, man? But now we got to discredit Kim before the storm at the level of his own humanity because he says a word. And by the way, he grew up it was American History X in Huntington Beach. How come I can know what age Kim is, and I can hear how he talks, and I can detect his accent because I've been all over California, and I ask him where he's from. He says Anaheim. So immediately I know I'm a certain cultural context, and I will get to the caller. I want to wrap this up, though. And then I explain to people, I say, as far as I could tell, Kim more or less grew up in American History X. And he said, you're right, man. How come I knew that shit? How come I knew that shit? Anthropologist Benton. And here comes Tommy to straighten you all out. Hey, Tommy, straighten them.
Hello, Benton. How are you this morning?
Hey, NPR Tommy's here. Yay. Now I got to breathe and bring it down. I'm yelling at the screen.
I just wanted to show what he was avoiding this morning because I see him in the comment. I see him in the chat.
I knew I was going to get this content. I was watching saying, yep, I'm going to get this one.
People who respect the bomb get the NPR. Now, is what I want to talk about, Ben. And I mean, we can stay on the racial thing. I grew up in West Virginia. I can always go with the racial talks. I think it's funny that the most rebellious freedom people on this platform have a problem with me saying faggot while they're trying to prove I'm a faggot. It's like, come on, guys. I only don't say the N-word out of respect for black people and policy, but the N-word should still be free to be said because I'm the only white man that's had legitimate reasons to use it. And even black people are scared to ask for those stories, but they are very funny and very legit.
Well, and I still got a head of steam, so my apologies, but we haven't even dealt with the fact that it's okay to say the phrase, the N-word, and everybody knows what that means, but it's somehow not okay to say the actual word. Meanwhile, EBT.
No, now.
Well, real quick.
Now it's not even okay to say the N-word. I'm getting heat on panels where I say literally the N-word and people suck their teeth and shake their head.
It's the language police. And EBT, I want you to say whatever you want to say. And he came on here and said all kind of shit, and I just let him say it.
And no matter how much EBT or anyone else thinks that me and EBT aren't cool, my very first impression to get me onto the EBT card was not only how he handled Paul the first time, but that he dropped an N-bomb for me when I was like tiptoeing on his channel. He was just like, what, nigger? Are you talking about nigger? I'll say nigger. I was like, I love this dude already. And that's why I'll fight him. I'll fucking fight him because I like him.
I think that's better than saying the N-word. That's some bitch shit. I don't even like that I say that now. I refused to say that for years. I wouldn't
It
say the
shows
word,
that
and I
we're
wouldn't say
cucking.
the N
Yeah.
word either. It's bullshit.
Yeah, man.
Sorry,
If
man.
you think if
I'm
you
pissed
think this
off.
is all supremacy, if you think the white people are in a secret club, why are we tiptoeing around saying the N-word? Like saying literally the N-word. Why are we supremacists
Yeah,
tiptoeing around that word?
don't say it. Don't say either one. Or might
And
as
I
well just
only
say the
don't
real word.
say it because out of all the panels that I like and I do go to, I even know what Paul doesn't realize is future algorithm will be scanning past shows for future uh regressions or offenses, you know, like we're saying things now that will be speculated with future ruling. It's fucking Big Brother bullshit. It's 1984 with an AI doing it instead of the guy that fucks Julia.
Well, and you're telling me that I'm a big stand-up comedy fan, and Richard Pryor released a stand-up album, and I'm not allowed to say the title of the stand-up album. I'm a big Dick Gregory fan. He released a book, and I'm not allowed to say the title of the book. That's what you're telling
I'm
me.
not allowed to sing with the music everybody listens to, you know? Yeah, I can't sing every lyric of some of the songs I like. Um, what was the other one? Jesus, I could roll on and on with these.
Now, I choose not to say it, but that's my choice. I choose not to say it.
I ain't gonna
Look,
sting y'all. That's my
look at
choice.
it. This is a record that you could go buy in the record store. And I know it's hard
Okay,
to read. This was in
would
the record store in 1975.
and you know, my black friends know that as a kid with no concept of any of this, my favorite Ghostbuster was Winston. And that was just because as a kid I wasn't really into identity yet, and Winston was just the most plain delivered common man Ghostbuster. Like Ray was the heart, Peter was the comedy, Egon was the brains. And Winston was just your common man representative, like just another day at the office. And I loved that shit as a kid. I didn't even have a concept in West Virginia at that time of a racial difference, you know. And now as I get older, like you've agreed, Winston Benton, in the '90s when I was a teenager, no black friend was saying racism is an issue, and now there's a resurgence of it's an issue. It's nuts.
So I
Shout out to
can't say
Thomas Sowell.
I can't talk about Dick Gregory. I'm a huge fan of his, and he wrote a book, and I can't say the title of the book, which I don't. I choose not to say that word. That's my choice. I say it
Yeah,
every once in a while.
unless you want to read Huck Finn, good luck reading Huck Finn. If you're a tranny, if you're some kind of drag queen trying to read Huck Finn to the kids, no, you can't get through every word of that book. You just say Joe, A Joe.
Well, and well, that's true. And I've told people go watch the trailer to the original Bad News Bears movie. A child says like three different racial slurs in the trailer for the movie. A kids movie.
EBT, mission accomplished, bro. As a mad lad edgelord myself, I'm looking at you. You are an edgelord, my friend. Congratulations.
These are not hot takes, Provo Kid. This is stuff that society has not dealt with. It's not dealing with these issues. It's
And
just
see,
not.
I've been aligning a lot with Provo Kid on stuff, and that's what I would say about him. He just comes off first impression as the type of
Well,
guy
he may
who's
not,
not gonna
but I'm
be
just taking
he's
him
not gonna be down with
sarcastic.
this N-word stuff, you know.
He
But I
might
like
not be
Provo Kid.
sarcastic, but I'm taking him as sarcastic. He may actually mean hot takes.
But if he means it bad enough, he'll come up, and that's why I like him. It's like I'm starting to very much draw a line. You don't always have to come up, but I better know you as someone that will come up. Because just now on your show, I left over so many chatters that never come up.
No, I get it. I get it.
And here's what I don't respect about the chatters of the unslaved, because when I left Yurt's show, I saw that Paul's show was titled to be restreaming Yurt. And when I clicked on that shit, not only is he not restreaming Yurt, I question if it was all of us that made him realize, ooh, better back off of this. And they're just doing the same old dumb shit while his chatters are going, hey, Zach is live. Zach Gematria is live, Paul. You want to go after Zach live? I know how they are over there. They're fucking bitches. Even JG isn't a bitch, and I'll argue with him, but JG isn't a bitch. Paul is a bitch. El Perro is a bitch. We ran El Perro off your show, and I commend everyone that backed me up. Whoever Truth or Tate is, I speculate is actually Andrew Tate if he weren't wasting time with our asses. But between El Perro and Andrew Tate's doing lung cancer better. Andrew Tate wore it better.
Well, I got no beef with Paul, and I'm probably going to send him a donation. I like his channel, but there's something wrong with El Perro. I don't know, something wrong with that guy.
Yeah. As long as I've known him and tried to be cool in a Christian-like way with him, there is very much a lot of shit wrong with that old man. And the biggest thing that's wrong is in your show and maybe your show, I keep swatting him down on one-on-ones, and he doesn't feel like he's lost. He went right back to Paul's show talking about how he's already won. And I just think, you senile old coot, just quit wasting your last days on this bullshit.
Well, what about Jeff, man? He seems like he's got the wet brain or something. Like, dude, he completely misrepresented that conversation.
With all respect to Jeff, who is Jeff?
The guy that was.
Sorry, guys, you don't be this infamous on these streets and know who everybody is. I apologize.
That's okay. Well, he was on my stream, and then he was the one on your stream who kept saying we were calling him a communist. And nobody called him a communist. Nobody called him a communist.
And communist, like racist, like Nazi, it's all just being watered down to like whatever, you know? It's like even with Orange Man. If you call me a racist that long or a pedo, you better have some footage or you're just wearing it out, you know? Like, I have my beef against Trump. I can show receipts of how Trump has done wrong, but I don't think he's racist. I know he's not a pedo from how he separated from that island guy before anyone knew he was island guy. Like, Trump might cheat on his wife. He'll cheat on his wife with another adult woman. I mean, give him that.
Oh, I'm just not. I can't even pretend to care about the Trump stuff.
And I can't pretend to just talk directly to you when I'm just speaking on like.
Oh, you're good. I'm just.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm just addressing current popular mouth diarrhea.
Oh, please do.
Because I have to back up people like Trump and Andrew Tate just as I experience a lower level of that bullshit public talk. It's like, I love when people get things wrong about me because it shows me how to like recalibrate to try and get my point out correctly. So like, I've changed up with you, Benton. At first I always thought the man who is Benton is cool to me and I want to know. But whenever I was coming here, like, well, Benton as a fiat subscriber to Paul, I would obviously have a little leeway to just chill out here and talk to people uninterrupted. And we see that isn't true. So now I have to recalibrate that while I still like Benton.
You mean because I'm going to let Paul on? Is that what you mean?
No. I thought that because you were a donator to Paul would respect this space and not disrupt your show over me. And we saw that was wrong. Even when I said, yo, Paul, this is a dude that's your subscriber. He also likes me. How about I just chill here and talk about shit, you know? And it didn't work. So now, while you are still free, I'm still free. I am recalibrating to see how long it takes me to make you not donate to him anymore. And if you always donate, that's fine. But rather than saying Paul will respect this holy land as Highlanders, he has showed me he will fight and cut a dude's head off on that holy ground. So now I got to try and keep you from tithing to that holy ground. Oh, here he is. Paul. Hey, man.
Yeah,
hey,
the guy you constantly have the dick in the mouth of, right? That's
Were you going to spend all morning showing how you operate by searching out?
Are you going to spend your whole life with my dick in your mouth?
Oh, but I'm the faggot though, remember? Of course I'm going to have your dick in my mouth.
I don't use those words. I don't use those words.
Yeah, because you're a pussy, except for when you don't want to be.
Right.
What do you want to do this morning?
I decide what makes me a pussy, not other little boys.
Oh, it's you and El Perro. Looks like I summoned you both. Because I have that power. I have that power over you two. You fucking freaks. You misguided, false word spouting freaks. Welcome to the show. Let's get it the fuck on. What do you got, loud cabbie? Hey, who's that guy behind you? I think I actually semi-respect that loon. Too bad he's not. Too bad your entire show isn't based on that man that's getting you from behind right now. What do you want to do, red boy?
Jack Talcott. Can we see?
Look how red your fucking face is, round one, bitch.
Right. Can we see your?
This is gonna be fun.
Can we see your insanely shaky and drug-addled face and presentment?
Not if you're gonna ask like that, fag boy. Okay. You're like my fag hag. Like you follow me around like my fag.
Oh, I follow you around. You're not constantly just talking about me.
How did you get here? How did you get here? Did you get here first? Did you get here first? Well, did you get here before I
got here because you got thrown off of here yesterday because you keep trying to position politically and manipulate everyone. You think everyone's just
Who's
dumb.
Political? You're not. Where am I positioning politically? Fuck politics.
Brandon, I really like you, and I just thought that
Yeah, that's called authenticity. That's authenticity, red boy.
As if I'm disrupting his show. He puts me up and loves me, shitting on you slaves. He's probably picking up good game and good lingo.
Well, nobody's perfect. Anyone that loves you, I would inject that no one's perfect.
I don't comment on what he does or doesn't do because he does his own thing. I do mine. You
don't comment on anyone that you see you can use. Just like fucking Christos. You're only nice to Christos because you saw me go on his show compatibly. And so you had to take him under your wing as an ally before you felt he was turned against you. You basic fucking high school bully bitch.
You're projecting.
Smoke another one, Johnny. What about you, Dad? No, Dad. What about you?
You're losing your
mind.
You
got anything, Opero? You got anything, Opero? Because you act like you don't know you've been thwarted over Catcoin, over that Bible you get wrong. What do you got for me, Opero?
Tom, don't have
Fuck
me get
off, fat boy. What do you want? This isn't your house. Even though you're still sitting on your channel, I can't sit on multiple channels at one time like you can. Did somebody come to your chat and say, Tom's on Benton's show, Daddy? Tom's on Benton's show, Daddy. Go over there. Go over there, Paulie. Tom's on Benton's show. I'm over your fucking played out bullshit, and I'm just rushing these streets to get over your bullshit too.
That's why you're over here on Benton trying to convince Benton not to quit subscribing.
No, Benton can do whatever he wants. But I said if I can't sit here without an old man and his little fag hag, I'll try and push Benton to not donate his fiat.
You're just as big a babbler
what do you got?
As Jack Talcott. You babble just as much. You understand that?
Hey, Jesus, man. Hey, Wiz, because you're such a Christian advocate, why do you sit and rag on Jack Talcott? Why do you slander that man into the ground when he's obviously troubled and confused? Come at somebody that wants your attention, you old dying man.
As opposed to post, I shoe under the king of Babylon that his city has fallen from the other end.
Oh, therefore, my God. How did you learn to shit out your mouth like that? How did you learn to stuff food up your ass and shit it out your mouth like that, Wiz? You bore me. You bore me with tagging along to Paul for views because when you guys played your little game on
tag along with Paul for views. I ain't never been about views.
Oh, I know you didn't because on Z's show, no one noticed you disbanded from Paul right there at everyone's face. Don't listen to those guys. That ain't me. Because I think Z might be my next place to talk about my bullshit. We can go watch it again.
This is all you do is go everywhere, try to sow discontent and discord.
Only against you, bitch. Only against you because you need it. And you started all this. You started all this, and you lean on hoping that no one rewatches your old shit. You are entirely based on hoping no one brings receipts to you. You are boring, Paul. You will never fly to Denver. You are boring. You are nothing. I don't fear you. I just wish you would die sooner than El Perro.
Do you mind if Mr. Paul talks for a moment? Is that okay?
Let him talk because I know it's a whole hill of nothing.
Tom, I'm your daddy. I'm in your mind.
Okay. Okay. We've acknowledged that Paul is my daddy. That's all he's got.
Ask Mr. Benton,
Paul is
daddy
everybody's daddy.
Don't make
Paul
me
is
ask
my
daddy over
daddy.
here to put you
Come on
down
up,
for your
Jack.
own good and give you
Come on
5
up,
minutes
Jack.
in the
Jack,
chamber.
you don't want this, baby. Just stay back. Stay back, Jack. Let me handle this, man.
Tom, you're a nobody and a nothing. You're obscure.
Hey,
mediocre.
I'm not the one
See where you
pumping
get
out
that?
videos to show I'm
You see where
nobody.
you get
I'm the
that?
one coming to the
Insane
video guy
person.
saying, "What you got, faggot? What you got,
Tom!
faggot?"
Stop with the language on Benton's fucking broadcast.
Oh,
If you really
you've got
gave
a problem with
fuck
the
about him and his
language.
broadcast, you wouldn't
You've
talk
got a
like that,
problem
you
with the
fuck nut.
language. Why don't you try and make your language true shit
Shut
once
up,
in a while?
Flav.
Beards do not stop concussions, you fucking moron.
Tom,
Beards
you have
do not stop
Tom,
concussions, you
turn him
fucking
down, Benton.
moron.
He's
Darth
ridiculous.
Vader meant literally blood
Benton, please.
father. He did not mean I am your daddy. He meant Luke, I nutted in your mother and I am your father.
Tom,
That's what he meant. You
have
stupid
frail,
meme
weak-
using motherfucker. Try to go to an institutional learning instead of an institutional prison, you dumb shit. Yeah, look at your daddy. You got to look to the side to see your daddy.
No, I'm looking off camera because I'm waiting.
Oh,
for
do you mean like when you close your eyes to talk to the camera, that's a sign of mental delusion and
Look
fucking
at,
lying women?
Paul he's exhibiting an excellent patience here, I must say.
Yeah, he's seen it for months from me, Benton. And now I'm going to play the Paul a little bit. Let Paul learn a little patience. Let Wizard learn that he ain't shit when I spit all up in his face. I live in
You're
those
gonna break my
streets,
jaw,
bitch.
Tom?
Who are you spitting up in my face? You're a nobody casting out
Tell
for
me
nobody.
about how algorithms
not
for
a
YouTube
nobody,
work,
dumbass.
Wizard. Tell me about how Catcoin works, Wizard, because you got both wrong so far and you think you won.
Oh,
Why don't
really?
you shave again?
That's why
Why
I
don't you
got my own
shave to
site.
try and stand with these young men?
I'm blockchaining my own information, right? That's why I don't understand it, because I got my own site blockchaining my own information, and I don't understand.
And they're both blind as fuck. You got your own site, your own information, and they're yours because they're blind and wrong.
Tom,
Blind and wrong.
Tom?
You think I don't know how the cybersecurity works with the security certificates?
I know you don't. I know you don't because you just played it.
Break my jaw, Tom?
I'll deal in the cyber certificates.
Hold on, Mr.
Wiz,
Wizard. Tom,
you
Tom.
have stood to me on yurt and you've gotten your technical information wrong and you're still standing on it. Tell
Tom,
your
do you wanna-
son I'm not
Tom.
acknowledging him at this point.
How did I show us how I got the technical information wrong when I am doing it now?
Wizard,
Because all
please.
you got to do is go back to when it happened and replay it. Why are you wasting my time? You
No,
don't have a lot of time on this earth to be
explain
wasting.
to them how
Why are you wasting my time when yours is so short?
Without that, you will bring no evidence and have no proof.
Because
I have proof that's an example. It's on the web.
left. Shut the fuck up, you old geezer. You left
me.
that situation as it
You're
happened.
nobody against a nobody.
And now you pretend it didn't happen because none of us timestamp it, but it was within the last 2 weeks on a panel. You got
then you should
Catcoin
be able
wrong.
to
You've
describe
always
the
got
technical
YouTube wrong.
fallacy. You should be able to describe the technical fallacy. As of yet, you haven't and can't.
No,
Why?
I did
Because
in
I'm a
real
working
time.
example.
I did in real time, Wizard, and you didn't even see that as the loser of that debate. I think it was on yours.
You can't prove it because it's a working example, dumbass. Think about it.
No,
Your logic is flawed because it's a
You-
working example. Look
You
up
have
the-
never
hey,
shown
look up the
technical
unique
knowledge past
identifier.
binary controls
Everybody
is all
look
you
in
know.
the chat. I'm going to paste
Binary
it again.
pro. I don't
All you
look in
gotta
the
do
chat
is
because
check
they're
out
all
the
Paul's
unique
buddies.
identifier.
They're all Paul's fucking friends. That's why the man who opposes masks is the breeding ground for all these Talcott clones. Like Mr. Show Your Face is who creates all these Talcott clones. Tell me I'm worried about either of you. Tell me I'm worried about the support of a chat full of shit. I will stand alone and die alone as I do in the real life.
You don't see
Fuck
that this
you,
guy's
posers.
insane? You don't
No,
see that
you're
Tommy is
insane,
a
little boy in a trailer. You're insane. You're insane
No,
to think
because
you're
I
a
choose
leader.
to live in
You're
a
insane to
trailer.
think you're Christed. You're insane to think you are the claims you make.
Did
You
the
are
Christ
nothing.
being
I
have any-
laugh at you. It's Paulie. Paulie showed up to make a stand. Why so serious?
You're
Fucking
an
posers.
insane person. You need to be medicated.
Insane people are the ones meeting me saying Paul stands on truth and then having nothing beyond that and shutting the fuck up.
Right.
Those are insane people.
Because we
Insane
don't have a
people are
record
the
of
ones
who and what I
creating
am
that
versus
shit.
you and your yap.
Me and my yap, dude, I've got to talk over you to stay in this game.
What game?
And I do mean
Pretending to be somebody or
G-A-Y-M.
not? It doesn't
When
work.
I'm in
No
this
one's buying
game,
it.
it's
You're an insane loser failure
G-A-Y-M.
with no record of anything other than
Yeah,
yapping
there
on
is
panels
record.
about me.
You are scared to death that I show these receipts, Paul. I am fucking rich.
Show it all.
I am everything I've
Show
said.
it all.
You wouldn't let me. Now you
Show
don't
it
get it.
all.
You will get to see it when someone
You're
gets
a
it, but you
lying
ruined that
snake.
game.
You're a lying, snaky, insane.
I'm a mirror
snake.
right now. I'm a mirror right now. You lying fucking snake.
I bet you won't show nothing.
I bet you I already have when you weren't restreaming it. So go
I
find
bet
it.
you it's
fucktard.
meaningless, whatever
Go
it is.
find it, bitch. There's
I
people
bet you
here
it's
that know.
meaningless.
There's people in the
Yeah,
chat
go
that
find it
know.
along with everyone
Go
else, so
find
nobody
it.
saw whatever it is you showed. Great job, and I bet it was meaningless.
No, you say nobody as if everyone's on your side, and that shows how fucking delusional you are, little boy.
It's not that
You little
everyone's on my side. I have
institutionalized,
way better
traumatized
percentages
child.
than you. You're an insane
Stick
person.
another
You're
needle,
reviled
faggot.
everywhere.
I'll smoke a rock, you stick a needle. Let's see who survives longer. Let's
Okay.
see who comes out with the biggest paper, bitch. You got
Okay.
nothing. I will stoop to your level to win on your level.
Good
Because
job,
you're
Tom.
nothing. You
Good
are
job, Tom.
fucking nothing.
Good job,
I have
Tom.
to show up. I have to show up one panel at a time. You can sit on your goddamn throne of nobodies and still go to other panels without missing a beat on your show.
I'm kissing
You are
you right now,
lazy
you
and
little
nothing.
bitch. You don't see me? I'm kissing you through the phone, through the screen.
I would
Like
never
Soulja Boy,
kiss
I'm
your
kissing you
fugly
through the phone.
fucking ass, even if I
Good
was
job,
full on
Tom.
faggot. You couldn't get fucked in the butt by an ugly faggot, much less get a girl younger than 50.
Good job, Tom.
You lost your virginity at fucking 3-0 and you
Good
brag
job,
about it.
Tom.
I thank
Jesus of
you.
Bethlehem.
Thank you.
Jesus of
Yeah,
Bethlehem.
yeah. Hey, Benton, let's bring up Jesus of Bethlehem because Wiz
Look it
says
up.
that's
It
me.
shows his ID
Wiz
right
says
there.
that is literally me. Let's show how honest this man is. Everyone Google Jesus of Bethlehem. Look for the fucking, what do you call the pictures I don't have taken much when you're like arrested. Look for that shit, the mug shots. He says that is me. Let's review right now
You
because
already
that's Paul
revealed
too.
your character. Because Benton's about spiritual faith, and you went to comparing how.
Why
all
are
the
you
women that I'm
speaking
dealing
for
with
another
is,
man? Why
how
are you
I was a
speaking for
virgin.
another
A
man?
can't be a virgin.
Benton
fuck, you
speaks
don't have
for
a hymen.
Benton. I speak
you're
for
such a
me.
Well,
You
screen
speak
share.
for everybody.
Great
Why
job.
do you
Keep
speak
yapping
for
over me 'cause
everybody,
you're
Paul?
scared.
Why
You're
do you
scared.
speak for everybody,
You're
Paul?
shook. You're a shook
Why
ass
do you
kid.
speak?
You're
I'm
scared.
shook. I'm shook.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
having a
scared to
great
let me
fucking
talk.
morning from your
Because
channel to
you're
right
shaking
now.
and
I am
screaming
loving
and
this
cursing
shit,
and you're
Paul.
losing your mind.
You see that, Benton? Can you share that?
What?
I've got it
I'm
Show
on
the
my.
fucking show Jesus
got
of
it up on
Bethlehem. I'll
share,
shut
but
the
it
fuck
it's not
up.
shared.
I'll shut the fuck up if we can show Jesus from Bethlehem.
I'm on my phone, but I'll see what I can do. Where is
Yeah,
it?
show it so I can put my fucking face right next to it and we'll see who that is or who it isn't. And then and listen, if I'm not Jesus from Bethlehem, what changes for these two fucks?
Hey, Tom,
What
you
changes
said,
with this
Tom,
fucking outreach from channel to channel? You said my name. Tom said my name. I better go get him. Tom said my name. Yeah, you're fucking
Tom, you
right. I
said you-
said your name and I'm
Tom.
not going to stop.
hey, Tom, you said earlier, like 20 minutes ago, you're going to break my jaw, right?
Yep. Public record.
I said you won't come to Denver. What
All right,
happens
so
if
you
you
want to
come to
live
Denver?
stream it? You want to live
No.
stream it?
I did. I already told you what would happen the live stream when
Okay,
you
so
come to
we'll
Denver.
set it up. We'll sign a contract, and you could break my jaw on live stream, and I'm sure people.
No,
would
no,
tune in.
that's not what I said would happen.
Right, because you're a punk ass bitch. That's what I thought. So shut
No,
the fuck
what
up
I
telling
said
all
would
the threats
happen.
over the
What I
internet, you
said would
punk-ass
happen
bitch.
is the
'Cause
least
you ain't
punk
gonna
ass
do a
bitch.
motherfucking
So
thing
why
with your
don't you
pale
tell
ass
people
wrist.
what I really said would happen? Tell people what I really said would happen, Paul. Paul, tell these people what I said would happen when you fly to Denver and live stream me. Tell them. Do you need to roll another blunt to say it? Tell him, Wiz. Tell him, Paul. Tell him what will happen when you come to Denver.
I ain't coming
Okay, let me review. Let me review because you guys don't remember shit. When Paul Unslaved comes to Denver, he will be forced to live stream that his 6'3", 250-pound ass will put my skinny ass in the emergency room with my hands behind my back. That's how you're going to show how big and bad you are, motherfucker.
Right.
I'm
So
going to
you already
stand
said
still,
you'd break
and
my
you
jaw
will
20
put me in
minutes
the
ago.
emergency room with no
So
resistance.
You said
Let's
20
see it,
minutes ago,
faggot.
turn him down. He's insane. You said 20 minutes ago you're going to break my jaw if I come to Denver.
How
But
come
if I
you
come
can
there,
remember
you're not gonna
20
do
minutes
nothing
ago and you
because
can't remember the
because you're a
6 months I keep
shit-popper of the
throwing in your
metaverse.
All
face,
you
Like,
gotta
you
do is
traumatized
replay about
child?
20 minutes ago, guys. That ends the
You
argument.
guys are so
Listen to
fucking
what he said
stupid.
about
It doesn't
20 minutes
matter
ago.
if anybody sees it. You're so fucking stupid that I believe the revelations of people will buy into bullshit. Because you two spread the bullshit
Jack
that
Calcott.
Revelation says God will make it easier for people to believe your fucking bullshit. And when I sit here and speak adulting fucking logic, no one wants to hear it. That's end times fucking shit to me. The fact that you have a man who desperately seeks God as your kicking boy who's posted up behind you, Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, is that me, Wiz? Because that should be the end of Wiz's career right there, to say that's fucking me. And Paul laughs it off like it wasn't nothing.
I
Just
don't
like
think that's you. I don't think that's you.
yeah, well, your daddy is going around saying everyone
No,
Google
that's
Jesus
not
of
how it works.
Bethlehem.
Fuck not. We're not attached at the hip because we appear on panel together. He has his views. I have mine.
Oh, I know you're not attached at the hip because he went on Z right after you and said, that ain't me. I'm not those guys. Don't worry about that shit. But he's sucking you off every day like a fucking pedo father.
You
Pedo
didn't hear me tell him
incest
to fuck
father.
off the other day
sucking off.
either, did you?
Pedo incest father.
You're a
Wiz is
bizarre
a
man,
pedo
Tom. You're a
incest father.
bizarre
Hey,
player
Wiz.
hater.
Wiz, tell me how
Broken
many of those 93 court wins were over child support. I bet you 80 of those 93 wins were denying child support to your blood.
No, there's only one child support case.
And you pushed to not pay child support.
No, that was
Great
when I
fucking
had
father.
to pay child support.
Father of the
And when you
unslaved.
win, it doesn't
Father
appear
to
on the record.
traumatized, institutionalized children.
See, that's the
Fuck you
fallacy of
guys.
people that don't know how the court system operates. See,
Oh,
there was one
that's the
court case,
fallacy.
and that was the
You are not a
losing
walking fallacy in yourself.
That was
Whether
the
you
case
look
where
like
I
Charles
lost.
Manson, whether you look like a tweaker when you shave, you are nowhere near a fallacy, are you?
The case where I won
Benton,
doesn't appear on the
Benton,
record.
I know
Because they
this
don't want to
isn't
admit that
classy,
they
Benton,
lost.
but you're the only person that'll
Why?
let it happen.
Because it
You
wasn't in
won't
the
even
proper
let this
venue.
happen.
Therefore, it meant that they couldn't go back into that same
Oh,
venue.
explain
to
yourself,
post another
explain
court
yourself,
case.
but don't explain the
Dumbass.
Bethlehem.
He just
Don't
talks
explain
over
why
everyone.
I'm
Don't let nobody
not Jesus
clarify
of
the truth.
Bethlehem.
Well, I mean, Tommy,
Don't
yeah,
explain why I'm not him. These guys are fucking amateur hour, Benton. I
See,
didn't
if
leave if
are
you
you
want,
gonna
but
let-
these guys
was
are
held in the wrong
nothing
venue.
to
They
me.
can't go back to the same venue to try to hold you in that court again.
Hey, why do you
What
have
are you
your
gonna
cash
do?
app? Why
One
do you have
venue.
your- Why do you have your cash
Hey,
app?
that is hey, Tom. Hey, Tom. Hey, Tom. Where's
what
Jack
happened to
Calcott?
NPR
Where's
Tom?
Jack Calcott? Hey, did you
What
notice
happened to,
Oh, so
yesterday,
you're a
Paul?
begging little bitch now.
Paul,
All the
did you
shit you
notice
talked about me
yesterday?
doing
Paul,
8, 10,
did you
12-hour
notice
broadcasts,
yesterday that
and now
when
you're a begging bitch on
when
panel.
Jay Nile hurt the X
Right,
Factor's
right.
feelings, that you still wanted the X Factor to carry your show after he got his
Right.
feelings hurt? He did a good job of playing
Make
that
sure you
poker
hit
face.
Tommy's Cash App. Make sure you hit his Cash App for all the good work he does on here.
No, this Cash App is how you donate to getting me to do certain characters on any channel you want, just like right now.
Right. Great.
Right.
So
It
you
is
made
right.
it
That's the
this
truth. I
out
stand
here.
on truth.
paying for
Right.
Am I
So
paying
you're
for
doing
this?
a
What's going on?
character right now, destroying Benton's broadcast to try to make
No. This isn't a character. This is real fucking shit.
Oh,
but as
okay,
far
so
as
it's
like
not a
the
character.
alien that
So you're
you
like
like,
having
the Joker that
personality
you like, I'm
disorder.
gonna let the people decide where that
Right.
shit goes.
So you have
Because
a
you're
multiple
sitting on the
personality
channel.
disorder.
You're sitting on the channel that finally looked into Snafu's video, and you all look fucking stupid now. You look stupid because you had to check the video. You're all nothing as far as getting on my fucking emotions. I don't like anyone. Some of you have my respect, but I don't like any of you except maybe Benton and a few chatters I can't bring to name right now. So it's good to see you guys finally put your masks on when you saw the futility of your double team coming at me. I have lost double team physical fights. I will never lose a double team talk fight to you two amateur bitches. Now get the fuck out of here and just restream and watch with your mouth shut. Maybe go back to looking up quotes on memes, because that's why you can't keep the Tao or Christianity straight. You're just looking for memes in the moment that apply to you without knowing the contradiction that you live when you cite those words. You are nothing, you trailer institutionalized, fatherless piece of shit. Come to Denver and put me in the emergency room, and I'll tell you how much I loved it.
Okay, drop the mic on that.
I got more respect for that guy you got a picture of. Oh, everybody knows that Jesus people use psycho clowns for their pictures.
Boys and girls, it's party time. Let's get it on.
Right. You are a fucking crazy old man dying of cancer. Even Andrew Tate is going to deal with lung cancer better than your ass.
That's why I've already
Jeep Girl, I'm not losing my shit. I've had enough. Jeep Girl is the stupidest motherfucker on your channel.
Now Tom's gonna let the chat trigger him.
No, just Jeep Girl, because Jeep Girl has gone back and forth between me thinking she was getting somewhere and me knowing she is lost.
They're gonna wait you out.
Jeep Girl.
They're gonna wait you out and beat you.
What?
They're gonna try to wait you out and beat you, man.
Oh yeah, you can't wait me out. I already said I was born on the long game. I was born on cross country endurance, and my challenge is like bulk strength. What are you not knowing, Benton? Because I'll straighten you out since I got
You're doing it now.
My respect.
You're doing it now.
Doing what?
Losing it.
I'm not losing it, Benton. This is full control and being loud for children that wanted to come at me. If you think I'm losing it, you have a reading issue on people. This is a guy that came in here NPR, and when I saw you wanted to throw these two fucking degenerates at me, I said, fine, Benton, let's get it the fuck on. Do you think they mix well with NPR? Do you think NPR will get to these guys? They need to come to Denver and put me in the emergency room to get what I'm saying.
He's doing it. All right, you're back. Good.
What? If you think I'm out of control, what? You want NPR? Should I just
NPR Tom?
NPR Tom is in control.
Now, can you let the other side rebut and remain?
No,
silent?
because this is a rebut to 6 months, Benton. That's why I don't let them rebut today, because this is a rebut to 6 months of their bullshit, and they can sit there and fucking take it. And as soon as you let them start talking, I'm gonna hit leave and laugh on my Xbox show as you say I ran. Like I'm still watching on my TV every time I leave. And so I'm gonna hit leave as soon as they try and say something with their red face that brags about eating the pussy of a 50-year-old woman online and brags about losing their virginity at 30 and tells me that I don't get laid, even though I only know the term daddy from girls that sit on this dick.
You gonna run now, Tom?
That's not true.
You gonna run?
Hey, if you want proof, I never run,
on
Paul.
my Xbox and hope it vibrates.
No, that's the controller. That's the controller, faggot. No, the vibrating part is the controller, faggot.
I'm about playing power games.
Paul, are you being a nigger right now? Is Snafu coming up here to be a nigger? Snafu, I'm not running away because I'm not late for college class that you don't believe. Snafu, come up and talk about the video that everyone on this channel watched last night. Come talk about the video we watched and how I threatened women and children, you fat bitch. You guys don't get it yet. You are nobody. If I stop showing up to YouTube panels and leave you to your devices, you will find that you are nobodies. You're never going up the tower. You're not even smart enough to start a new fucking platform. And then your defense is, well, that's not what it's about. unless we're going to a channel saying that's what it's about. Only Paul would show up on panel after panel of Zoom calls and say, this is boring. You got no viewers. He's the only one shooting for viewers. He's the only one that is boring if you watch this shit for 6 fucking months. That's my mistake. I hate myself for even tangling with him for 6 months, but it feels like a fucking duty now to my fellow men who are fucking bamboozled into believing he's anything but a
Sit
red
on your
faced nobody.
Xbox and watch, Tom. You're a watcher waiter.
I have an Xbox. I can afford an Xbox. Only adults play video games.
On Xbox,
okay, so here's the thing about Xbox, Paul. There's people that sell Xbox games. No, you're going to love this one, Paul. You're going to love this one. From Xbox games to cigarettes to liquor, no one but you can get away with, the kid said he was 18. Even though art class is enough to show that those proportions of a child who is cross-eyed that would laugh on your show to say poo-poo, you thought that was an adult, you fucking idiot? You thought an adult was laughing on your poo-poo. Hey, Paul, people should like you because you nice guy. Yeah, he's 18, Paul. You fucking degenerate. I dare anybody to think they're empowered by taking your side against me. You're all fucking losers.
Again, you have it wrong, Tommy. It's not about sides. It's about right and wrong.
No, it's about proportions and the law of minors versus adults. That's the only time I truly went against Paul, is when that kid shit started. I sent Paul my last line of communication, which was Cash App, saying, Paul, let me back on the show over this child issue. And he cut me off. He fucking cut me off from receiving money to give him a message. Paul, I get the child issue.
I don't
let
need
me back in.
money from slaves who can't conduct
But
themselves.
you do need to know when a child is being manipulated by an adult who says he's Christed. You're oblivious to what this conversation is saying. You're a fucking pedo.
What?
Paul is a pedo-enabling channel who says the kid said he's 18. He washed his hands of the whole thing, saying the kid said he was 18. That's good enough. Ask a cigarette dealer if that's enough. Ask a liquor dealer if that's enough. Ask a red dot on a Google map if that's enough, Paul. You fucking traumatized, institutionalized child.
That seems a bit out of bounds, Tommy.
Is that you, John Wayne? No, Benton. You're being a yurt right now. I'm talking on shit that is referenceable on these platforms.
I could never be a yurt, but thank you.
Right, so you just said I'm a pedo.
I said that you spent months letting a child come to your adult show and you passed it off. You passed it off by saying the kid said he was 18. Tell me another time in America you can just say the kid was 18.
You better hope you never get
it. It is true. I sat there for it, dickhead. I sat through it, dickhead.
Because now you're making really false, libelous claims.
I don't make those. Snafu makes false claims. Snafu got timestamps. I am not doing that.
He doesn't realize what's going to happen to him now.
Why so retractable, Paul? Why so retractable? If you stand on rights and truth, why are you forgetting?
Watch what happens to him in his life now for making a claim like that.
Watch what happens to my life ever since I stood on truth and walked the path without saying I do. Watch me just do. Watch me just do with no channel, no videos. Watch me not say it, and watch me leave and go back to being rich and prosperous. Because you said it yourself, Paul. The more you serve your God, the better your life is. That's my line, dude. That's my line.
Are we talking about the hilarious kid over in the UK?
Yeah, that kid has to be like 10, 11 years old at best.
We don't know how old that kid is. That kid's hilarious.
Well, I know he's a minor by what I just fucking said. Just art class, Benton. Just art class.
If I had to bet money, I would say probably, but we don't know that.
No, I don't. I will bet money because I do know that, Benton. You will never find a child without those proportions. You might find a competent, whatever the word is for short people that some went to wrestling matches of. They might have those proportions, but then you bypass that by the fact he's in a child's bed, rolling around with his phone, giggling and saying shit like poo poo pee pee. And Paul still conducted himself as if he was in a bar. His panel conducted themselves as if they were in a bar, which is fine if you keep kids out. I'm a guy that bounced at a bar that let 16 and up in, and we did it right. Now tell me how I'm not the best bouncer.
I haven't seen anything inappropriate. I will say that.
Yeah, because you can't watch everything, Benton. You can't be in these streets. You got an actual job, unlike Paul and Wiz.
So
you got to work a job.
Slave. So you're such a pathetic, bad-faced slave that you would say, instead of us letting a young boy who's going to become a man hang around us and hear us talk on a metaverse where he's supposed to be protected by the system and the policy, I now bear a liability for that, for talking amongst other people voluntarily when, if he's a minor, his parents didn't take care of him. So instead of me just going along and letting him be a part of it, which may help him, you're going to get something done to me because me talking on the metaverse with children watching porn and everything else that they're up to at this point, talking to actual pedos. I'm a pedo and I'm in a bar with him now serving him liquor. That's what the fuck.
That's what it is. If you had any concept of helping the kid or keeping him from the metaverse, you wouldn't have to resort to the explanation of why you didn't know he was a kid. You weren't trying to help a kid. You lacked awareness of his presence as you said shit that he needs protected from. You gave him the logic of what you say about me, which is false. You gave your false narratives that he sat there and ate up. It's like you're saying, what? I gave him some cigarettes because his parents weren't stopping him from smoking, and now I'm the bad guy.
A minor with a destructive substance the same as him getting past all the, according to you, if he's a minor,
according to you, as long as there's something worse he could be subjected to,
and hearing us talk is the same as me giving him drugs. How is that the same?
I'm saying that these streets and this tower that is on fire puts each creator responsible not only for their content, but for what the chat says, what their panel says, and you don't always keep that mind state for 6 months of 12-hour days at a time. You've already lost, Paul. You're just trying to make me look stupid for being the first to say it, when anyone who gets attention to you that sees me, they're going to see what direction to start searching in.
Is this where we attack it? Not we, but is this where his channel gets attacked again?
His channel is him.
That's
like
not
he
the point
says,
I'm making.
he says my intention is, he tells me my intention is to destroy his channel. My intention has always been to show him how to keep his channel. And since he's a traumatized child, he sees it as an attack. I only have information.
Advice. What don't you get? I don't want your
I
sick
only
advice.
have information, and whether I want it to build Paul up or cut Paul down, it's in the delivery. But it's the same information either way.
Tom, nobody takes you seriously or credibly.
That's fine. That's their responsibility to decide. Just like taking you seriously or not is everyone's responsibility, and everyone makes mistakes, mostly by taking you seriously, as we see with Jeep Girl. The woman who will
say everybody else is going to see you for who you are.
Yeah, I hope they do. Wiz, I pray, if there's one thing I sit down on my knees and pray about, it's that people see me for who they are, see me for who I am, see Wiz for who he is, see Paul for who he is, see Benton for who he is. I hope we all are seen for who we are, and I hope we all get what we deserve. That's the one wish. My one wish to this whole universe is that every single individual gets exactly what they deserve, and I will step up first in line for that. And I won't have a mask or a fucking picture of Jack Calcott on when I do it.
Tommy, you're just like Jack, gonna wait for somebody else first, and then you'll do it. You're a dumbass.
Wait, I just said I would be first in line for getting what I deserve, and you just said the opposite. I
Only
guess
if
that makes
something
you
else
right.
happens
I guess
first.
that makes Wiz.
Only
Wiz
if
got me
something
on
else
that one.
happens first.
God damn,
Only
Wiz,
if
you are
something else
enigma
happens
with
first.
shrouded in secrecy with a puzzle
You're the
for a
guy that's
hat.
going to
How
stand
could
there
I
with the
ever
camera
take you
while
on?
they got the
You
knee on your
grizzled
brother's
old
neck.
coot. You senile old coot. Can't you feel the cancer eating you from the inside because you are the cancer
Oh,
on
yes,
YouTube?
I feel it eating me away as I get better and better every day.
There you go,
going
Tommy.
for walks longer and longer.
There you
getting
go,
ready to
Tommy.
take
There
the
you go,
garbage
Tommy.
out.
Giving me a fallacy
He's
I can
such a
elaborate
good-
on.
he's such
There
a
you
good
go,
faith
Tommy.
man.
Here comes my
Can
cabbie
you cut him down
style.
for a
There
second,
you go,
Benton,
Tommy.
please?
Here comes my cabbie style to
Benton,
say
can
some
you cut him
bullshit to
down for a
control the
second,
narrative.
please?
Let
Get
me
some kind of
control the
order here,
narrative for the
maybe?
people that'll believe
No,
anything
we're
I
not.
I
say.
mean,
Yeah, we just let him. Okay, so
well,
we'll let him
let me
hijack
talk.
the man.
Let me talk for a minute. I don't want to mute people. I don't want to turn people's volume
But then
down. I
there
don't
No,
are
want
you mute
times-
me. I'm dipping.
There are
You mute
times
me.
This
I'm
is what
you
dipping.
know-
everybody says when they come here. Is they
Bro,
want
I
they
can't-
don't
Come where?
get
Do
a-
you mean
I
come
can't
here
get
to
a word
Benton's
in.
channel or
I
come
can't
there
get
to
a
your
word in
channel?
over there.
Because when you say everybody, do you mean Benton's channel is everybody or your
everybody when
channel
they
is
come on
everybody?
the
Do you
metaverse-
even know where you are while you're talking, Paul?
It comes down to a decorum. And if
Shut
you
the
can't
fuck
have a
up, old
Socratic-
man. You can come to
and if you
Denver
can't
too.
have a Socratic decorum, then you're not part of a real discussion, dumbass. You're sitting here
No, that's
arguing with
my
no
line. When I'm
implementation
on
of
Paul
any
Enslaved, that's
do
my
anything
line.
But make yourself look like a fool.
Oh yeah, I look like a fool to fools, but the wise will understand. I eat when I eat, I pass when I pass, I sleep when I sleep. The fools will laugh, but the wise will understand. And that motherfucker couldn't even find that in the memes of fucking quotes. He will quote the Tao, the Quran, the KJV, and not understand that all of them have something or other saying you can't serve multiple masters and multiple religions, you fucking red-faced goon. Come to Denver and break my bones.
Right, folks.
Come
Tommy,
to
at a
Denver
certain
and hit
point,
me with a shovel, Wiz. Tell the shovel story while you beat me with a shovel, you grizzled old coot.
at a certain point, we're out of time and we have to go about our lives. So do we have to? We're going to be patient and wait, but it's like, at what point?
That's up to
like,
you because
how
Paul
long does
doesn't
it-
believe I have
Really not,
nothing but
though.
time. The
It's really
first
not.
clue to me being fucking rich is I'll show up anytime, anywhere, and I ain't got any pressing shit but taking care of the one true love, my fucking dog. And when that dog dies, you better be careful what invisible line you live in and how
Right,
much
so there
range
you go,
there is
Benton.
between you and
So
sending
his
it.
proof that he's rich is he could show up wherever and whenever he wants. When I do that, it's proof I'm poor. See how it works?
No. When you do that, it's let me see you come to Denver to show me you're serious about it. I'll tie my hands behind my back to show you I'm serious about it. And to show you I'm serious about it, I'll pay the bouncer crew to make sure you don't leave without putting me in the emergency room. You will stream putting me in the emergency room and you won't walk away from it. Come see how I'll fucking pay for that.
Tom, you're doing WWF right now. You don't mean anything you're saying.
No, you will do WWE, and I will sit there tied up to show you how badass you are and how badass I am. Right. Just when I lose consciousness, make sure I wake up in the fucking emergency room.
All right, Tom,
I ain't
you're
gonna
the
touch
Joker
you.
now.
I'm not gonna touch you, Paul.
Tom,
Paul, you're 6'3". You're 6'3", 250 pounds. I'm about built like Wiz. I am built like Wiz.
Got it.
How do we get out of this? That's the question. How do we get out of this?
Like this, Benton, you get out of this by having my respect.
I don't even know what that means, but Tommy left. Okay.
Yeah, he has nothing worthy to say, and when he's pushed on the facts and he's forced to be a man and stand on anything he says, he has to fight and run because he's a punk coward while claiming to be godly.
Well, I like Tommy, man, but I'm just confused. Like, I just don't think it's necessary, the beef, personally. That's just my opinion. But anyway, I understand. Well, go ahead. Sorry.
He sits here and babbles just like Jack, and everybody else sees it. And like Roy said, he agreed with me. We don't need to sit here and say anything. Tommy proved himself to be an idiot. Just like Tack. You could sit there and listen to these people all day, and they prove themselves to be an idiot. A man's intellect is limited and biased by his own vocabulary. So when you sit there and listen to men babble, you see how caught up they are. And like I said, post to post, the messenger shall call out to the king of Babylon that the city is taken by the other end. That's what posting is all about. In all venues, you're supposed to destroy the Babel. Period. You want to talk
Well,
about
you
the
know,
Bitcoin and everything and blockchaining? I'm telling you, learn how to blockchain your own private data. That's what it's about. Each keystroke has a security certificate. How many security certificates do you
you're
own?
gonna bring him back. You're gonna bring him back.
How many security certificates do you own if you don't
He's gonna
create
come back
any
now.
in your own private venue?
He's
A
gonna come
private
back.
journal. And you can journal in it and put it in the public venue, and it's still your own private journal.
Hey, Paul, I understand if you want to respond over at your place, but I'm kind of curious what you think of all this.
What I think of it in general?
Just any thoughts? If you, I know it's an open-ended question, but
Yeah, I mean, again,
go ahead, sir.
Yeah, it's sort of all a life experiment, and folks periodically voluntarily pay me through donations to be here. So yeah, when I see these folks out and about and I hear them talking about me in the panel, I show up and, convict them with their own words. They seem to hate this because they're convicted with their own words, and they threaten to do physical harm, but they're not about it. They threaten to show documentation of some record, but it's meaningless, right? So they're powerless. This is what it all amounts to, is these beings are all powerless, and they get in confederation against folks who they deem as powerful when you won't love them or let them use you the way that they'd like. So that's why I say everybody comes here and we all want to be free, promote free speech completely. And what you find out is there's a damn good reason for two jurisdictions, for two different kinds of persons or people, folks who can't govern themselves and folks who can. Folks who false claim, make bad faith claims, make false contracts, don't stand on their debts and their word, have to be governed. So Tommy is one of those individuals. He's in the world and of it, claiming to be godly. He talks about wizard dying of cancer, makes fun of it, calls me a pedo because I had a concern for some individual who he says is a child, which I can't confirm or deny one way or the other. If it is a child, well, then he got past all the measures that are put in place because my shit is flagged not for children. So,
well, and that person adds to the broadcast. I've seen that person on your broadcast. It's a funny person who adds a lot, I would say.
So why don't you bring Talcott up? Because now we can loop with him, another insane person. That's why I have him as my avatar. Him and Tommy are one and the same.
Yeah, and my thing is, I just don't want to have to mute people and kick them off. That's mainly what I'm trying to avoid, if possible.
No, you just have to see when they're powerless and power hungry, they get really upset when they, especially to me, right? When I say, "Hey, Benton, could you lower their volume so we can make a point?" It just freaks him out, right? That's why he was so angry today, because you threw him out the other day. Because you ascertained, like the rest of us, that he's an insane person and he's detracting. It's one thing to let them do their rap and their skit and go through it. It's another thing to just for them to take over and hijack and just scream and yell and make false libelous claims that put all of us in jeopardy of having to, if nothing else, have an interaction with officials. Because if you make a claim like that on here and someone takes interest in it, they're going to talk to you and they're going to talk to me. So why would you come here and make claims that could get you talked to by authorities? Maybe you are part of the authorities. Maybe you're a confidential informant. Maybe you're a fucking low-life druggy scum who got caught up and has to work off charges. So you come on the metaverse all day and get paid to get folks who are about freedom and truth and get results hemmed up, right? So when you see folks like this, you turn their mic down and you really fuck their head up, because not only do they need to be governed and then want to claim to be about free speech while they use policy against everyone, something should be done about Paulie. He's a pedo. He went against policy. That's Mr. Freedom, Rights, and Anarchy, right? So, they put you in a no-win position because they'll claim to be against the system to relate to you. Then they'll use the system against you when they can't relate to you or have the relationship they want. So they need governance everywhere in their life because they're bad faith. So you cut them down, you lower them, put them real lower down. It's better to just put them down in the back because then they just scrap and scrape and claw for power, right? And then they act like, oh, I'm going to leave now, play a power game. That's what it's just constant power games with him, right?
Well, I do want to say real quick for the record, that was Truther Cop that kicked him out the other day. Truther Cop has admin over here, but in the StreamYards. But no, I understand what you're saying, and eventually it may get to the point where not Tommy in particular, where just I will have to do as you suggest, because Paul has much more. He has much more experience with the this format than I do, so I will take that to heart, sir.
Think of it like a city council format, brother. Everybody should get their 3 minutes. But other than that, they're rambling, especially if they're sitting there babbling the whole 3 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get it. And again, I'm not talking specifically about Tommy, but yeah, in general, I'm still trying to figure out what's that balance and what's the best way to handle that. Generally.
Well, you have to understand the principles of consciousness and awareness. The being is lacking self-awareness, self-actualization, and self-realization. So what they need is an ego check. I know they all say I'm the one who's egoic. I just go with the flow. These folks are constantly in resistance and suffering. Just their presence indicates that. Now look at him down in the chat, scrolling and typing away. So this is where, like, first he gets put backstage. If he won't wait a couple minutes after being told to calm down, then he goes to the chat, runs off like little Voldemort Schmeagol creature to put off wickedness in the chat. So then you put him in the chamber for 5 minutes, right? So there's a format to this. And after a while, everywhere they go, they get this treatment and they start to realize, oh, wow, I'm reviled by everyone. It's not the world, it's me. I'm an insane person getting the same results and I don't like it. No one likes it. I don't want to have to be part of it.
Yeah, I get that part of it for sure. And by the way, you guys are welcome over here anytime. I'm not trying to kick you out. I'm just saying, you're free to go if that's what you need to do. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that's a nice thing, Benton. I've always felt welcome over here.
I did say there's something wrong with you earlier, though, just for the record.
Well, there's something wrong with everybody, and that's the problem. Most of us don't want to recognize that. I recognize I'm fucked up. I still do things that I don't really want to do, but I do them any fucking way. Why?
Yeah.
This inner urge that keeps me in that fucking behavior, but I recognize it, and I continuously work on it. Period. Yeah. Ask my in 13 fucking years. It's been a long time, but every day gets better and better. And as will show as well, 93 cases, and in 7 years, nothing. The record shows that things are getting better and better. So what is there not to believe?
Oh, I get that. And for the record, I got swept in the Yurt versus Paul stuff and all the cult talk. And I had observed all these other so-called truther communities engaging in that behavior. And I chose to go with that pattern and apply that to Paul. And then I got to realizing that I was wrong. This is my first time to tell Paul that I was in fact wrong about that. So I did want to apologize for whatever my role was in those shenanigans. But the silver lining is I then became a fan of the channel. I've been watching a lot of the live streams. And I will most likely donate because I like to support YouTube creators. I think that's important to me personally.
Absolutely, especially in a forum where we're trying to present as much truth as possible. And the reality is that most people won't take the truth. And that's what I try to read about people. That's why I talk about the spiritual merits. It's the spiritual credence. If you come to me with spiritual credence, I'm going to tend to give you more base and foundation for truthiness than most others. Because that's the expected conversation I want. Spiritual conversations, not political, not truther conversations, not science. Truth is spirits, the spirits that we observe firsthand, not through some imagination. That's the third eye. And that's what brings into perspective that one that you see way off and allows you to close that distance, because your imagination says that you know that thing, you want to know it even better. Never do we really go out and think, well, I want to know it because I want to kill it or do something back to it. We want to know it because inherently we know that truth and knowledge enhances us.
Yeah, I would agree with that last part for sure. Definitely.
But this is why the biggest punishment you could give to someone like Tom, any one of these folks, is to put them in a chamber to be with themselves, or send them back to their obscure, mediocre lives and selves that they hate. Because that's why they come here, right? They have no purpose and meaning. They don't change lives. They haven't changed themselves. So the worst thing you could do for folks like this is send them off with themselves, like they do with jail, in a chamber metaversally for 5 minutes, or block them completely and then send them back to their life of mediocrity and obscurity and purposelessness, right? This way they can't struggle to cling to some kind of power here, which only makes them look like a fool.
Well, Tom has certainly contributed to the broadcasts over here, I would say. So, I do value that, and I like talking with the guy. But my main confusion comes with just the actual. He has a lot of energy around. He brings you up a lot, and that is true. Like, that happens a lot, that he brings up Paul and Slade.
Look at him. 8 messages in a row down there. Is that the presentment of a man who you would trust, who you believe understands himself, who you believe is as peaceful and powerful as he says, as secure in his understandings? Of course not. 8 fucking messages in a row, typing away, slamming on the keyboard. He's obsessed and infatuated, and rebuking at that. Because again, as much as they love me, they hate equally, because I will not love them the way that they crave, the way that their mommy and daddy should have, right? That's where this all goes back to. So when they can't use me or get the love, so they can't get the power through me of the broadcast, which they all start out doing, emailing me over and over, trying to manipulate me with donations, then telling me what I should and shouldn't do. He's doing that all with you, right? So they do it with everyone. And then when they realize that you realize that.
Well, sorry to cut you off, but I mean, I'm not disagreeing generally. I don't know that that's specifically what's happened here, but I just notice when people are trying to manipulate me. Like, this is something I immediately notice. So, but I know what you're saying, that is a thing generally that happens for sure. Absolutely. But I don't know, where do we go from here? I mean, not that there's a we, but I mean, like with Tommy and all of this, like, because he's going to keep coming over here, and then at some point you're going to show up, and it's going to be the clash. Like, how can this be resolved just so that I can do a broadcast without all this popping off all the time?
Well, that's the thing, right? Is that what I'm teaching everyone is, and they don't like that I'm doing it this way, is folks don't seem to like this, but they tolerate it. And then it becomes, well, if you don't like it and you don't want it done here, why keep bringing someone up who's always got my name and dick in their mouth? Because I don't come over and yell at you. You're just doing open panel. But I will come over and hold him accountable. And then in which case, here we are. So we're back to, maybe you don't let him back like everywhere else he goes. They start to learn, oh, we don't let the scum come here because they run their mouth without accountability. And then Paulie the gorilla shows up. And it gets awkward and uncomfortable and scary for everyone, right? So I guess to avoid that, because, this is my new gig. I show up everywhere where everyone's talking about me in the community, and I hold them accountable. Why not? Right? If I was going to talk about somebody, I'd go to their shit and do it. If you won't do it where I am, or you come to where I am to interfere, manipulate, use, and try to suck morale, then it becomes this kind of situation, right? Where now the being in the community is seen as a liability by everyone. That's how it should be in life. When you see somebody who can't govern themselves, so we don't have to go to policy enforcement, you just excommunicate them. This being's a liability. Everywhere they go, they're full of hate and anger. They're desperate, talking shit about people who we respect, if nothing else. And every time I get next to them, it causes me to look a certain way. It's a liability for me, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I will say I'm always going to judge for myself in the long run, make that determination, but everybody always reveals themselves. So, at some point I will have enough information that I will. My assessment right now is that hasn't reached that point that you're talking about. But, I've had to do that with people in real life where it's just like I just can't have anything to do with this person. I'm not trying to have anything to do with anybody on here in real life anyway, but I have thought about this idea of some sort of like like a public live stream, like a conference weekend kind of thing. Because some of these other channels do it, but more in the comedy vein. I don't know if you've ever seen any of that, like this Dabbleverse. If you're familiar with that phenomenon.
Yeah, I mean, I like, as you see, I incorporate, dare I use that word, certain elements of comedy and entertainment. But ultimately, the principles in Latin means first things first. So the bedrock of my foundation is a lifestyle in a way, right?
Yeah.
Being truthful, honorable. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
everything else is extras and after the fact. So that's how I look at it. As long as we have that intact, everything else we do after that is just sort of an art form that we're perfecting and exploring with.
Well, and real quick, because I first came across you on I think you were on Crow 777 twice, I believe. It's the one where y'all were dissecting your video, your famous video. And I understood where you were coming from. This is what I got out of what you said, was that you were able to connect the legal to the spiritual at the level of law. And I got a lot out of that. And I could tell, okay, he understands a lot of things that I don't understand. And then furthermore, the more I'm talking to people that have had exposure to your channel, I'm seeing a lot of people do get that part of it, but a lot of people it seems like it's gone over their head. And I'm actually sort of even explaining that to some people some of the time. It's like, well, it seems to me like there's certain spiritual laws that the legal system in this realm, it'll try to trick you, but when you really force it to, it has to adhere to certain spiritual principles. That seems to be what you were conveying on Crow. That's what I got out of it. So I don't know that everybody's figured that out. And I'm not speaking for you. That's only my interpretation of what I got out of that one podcast.
Right. So Tom down there again, he's confused. He says you can't talk truth or be about truth and be entertaining. Well, the truth is some of the most entertaining, fascinating, and miraculous knowledge of self and the universe that one could view. So again, it's kind of about venue and presentment, but the truth again is oftentimes unadulterated. It's just presented in a different way, right? It's just sort of a nuance, if you will, rather than me sitting in a chair and staring into a screen and giving you a fucking lecture, right? I prefer to create or facilitate an experience. It's supposed to be a little bit of everything, depending on where we're at in the experience.
Well, and it's a higher degree of difficulty, as we all know. I mean, maybe not everybody wants to recognize that, but it's more difficult to do it the way you're doing than just, I can come on here and give a lecture for an hour and a half. And I do, oftentimes I do, but that's a different thing. But you can also go on the good rants, I've noticed. So the combination, I have good taste, man. It's hard. I'm not trying to blow too much smoke. I have good taste, man. You're able to get me over there quite a bit. So I respect that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, really, ideally what you're trying to do is you're trying to come up with a formula that it's probably been done before. Like the Shakespeare said, great entertainer, artist, truth teller, right? So all three and more. Nothing new under the sun. So again, you could go look at, like you tell me, name somebody. They always talk about Howie Stern, king of all media. Well, God of all media then, because we focus on truth and spirituality first and foremost. And the one thing, if not many things, that a broadcast like that was lacking is a spiritual truth element, right?
Absolutely.
So this is, again, you look at the greats and you stand on the shoulders and you do it better and you keep your soul and spirit and integrity intact. Because, again, you take any one of these people, I don't respect them as men. I just don't. I see how they live. I see how they speak on certain things. I know where they're rooted. I don't respect them. but I see what they did when it came to getting people's attention, getting a hook in people, and then opening their ears to maybe receiving something. So,
Yep.
you find a blend of that.
Well, that's where I was getting to with the young person in the UK, like, because I've watched a lot of Howard Stern, and like that's a whack packer, obviously, like that's what that is. And see, but I see that, yeah,
Yeah,
like
and
I see it happening.
It's the same dynamic, right? Because power dynamics, social dynamics is all the same thing. You put somebody at the head of the room, when people start to perceive them as something, it draws in folks like them and folks who need who and what they are on some level. So that's where you get that whack pack phenomena, which is a guy like Tommy. He doesn't know it. He won't cop to it, but he's a whack packer, right? He comes on, just his presentment is bizarre. His way of speaking is bizarre. He shakes. He's addled. His story is checkered. And again, it's not that we all don't have maybe some of these qualities here and there, but then you listen to him and you realize it never goes anywhere, never gets to anything. The guy's whole life is just chaos and confusion, pointlessness. So he becomes a whack packer. And every once in a while, you get pulled into an interaction with the whack packer, right? And then you have to step back and go, okay, I just got pulled into an interaction with a whack packer. I know that it was truthful and it was entertaining and all that, but now it's got to go because this thing is a whack packer. It's insane, right? It's not like one of the other people in the room who can conceive of reality on all levels.
I believe and real quick, Paul, I think Rasta's wanting in up on the panel on your channel. But I believe most people that see me, aside from Aluma Tommy and Jack Talcott, I believe most others see me as the reasonable, logical man that I think I present myself as, and I present nothing but the truth, and I show sources on things. So take it as it is and deem whether that really is Jesus of Bethlehem as Tommy. That's up to you. I agree. But in my mind, I want to push that that's who Tommy is. He's nothing but a meth head that sits there and babbles on the panel. And comparatively, yeah, he's Jesus of Bethlehem. Have it as you will. I can't bear the truth to that. That's just my opinion, right, guys?
There you go. We all got one.
Tommy stops and then Carl picks up, right? See how the demon calls itself something different, but the presentment doesn't change. Scrolling and cycling in chat, interfering with everything, constantly taking shots at me and Wizard. It's the same demon over and over again. And he won't come up ever because I guarantee he'll look exactly like Tommy, like a Schmeagol Voldemort creature who's a backbiting infidel. And just his energy will give him away down in chat, let alone coming up here. He knows I know who and what he is. The best part is he's got a human in him because he makes funny and good content. And he goes, yep. Nobody ever took my content as good as you, Rage Pig. I go, because I have a sense of humor and I have humbleness and humility and I know that I'm a white gorilla on some level. Great. Make more. Yeah. I supported people who claim they're my enemy and never give me a break. Fine, great. The point is look at him down there and how he types and tell me that he has to know that you know that he's insane. Doesn't matter what he knows. Insane person ain't never going to know. You and everyone else know that person's insane on some level, hates their life and their existence, and spends their whole life and existence coming to places like this to interfere with Benton, me, and others, and to use us for some kind of shine and views and platform, which is bizarre because if they would just come up or just be human beings, we could all mix in and all be better for it. Because like I said, I want him to do more videos. I've been playing them. I think it's funny. He now won't do anymore because I want him to. If I said I hated it, he'd make a dozen more.
Yeah, that's probably true. Now, I do value Carl's contributions around here, and I do feel like I need to defend the chat at a certain point. I appreciate the chat, but your points are certainly well taken. I was subjected myself to a lot of hazing on Discords, and then I've also done a lot of the message board flame wars. So I may have a little bit thicker skin than most with respect to what the live chat's talking about. Because I mean, it's not just trolling, but that's certainly part of it. Is they're just gonna troll, like they're just what they're gonna do. I don't know.
I don't accept any of that because
I know you don't. I know you don't.
Yeah, I'll fucking
which is fine. I'm not trying to change your mind. Yeah, completely fine.
No, yeah, everyone's obviously entitled to their own way of doing this, but I've taken it on as a challenge. When the trolls come in, they don't feed on me, I feed on them. Because there's a person back there, and I'm going to talk right into their soul. And I might hit 50% of the time, whatever the percentage is. I'm hitting somewhere in their soul. They know what the fuck I'm saying is true. And don't kid yourself, they're going to update somewhere. And I see the progress. The trolls either won't come back on their own, or when they come back, they'll half get in bed with me. It's such a bizarre process to watch, where folks, the longer we sit here, the longer even the people who hate me start to respect me and want to get in bed with me at least halfway, some of the time. Right? My soul feels touched right now. See, okay, whatever. You're above it all, bro. You're inhuman. He's immortal. Carr the immortal antediluvian king.
Well, see, he explains it perfectly, though. I got to give the guy credit, because he's one of those guys, like many, that are here for the fun. Okay? He's here for 90 Day Fiancé. He's here to watch. He doesn't have to join. So we can take it or leave it too. It's just like an adhesion contract. Take it or leave it. Just my opinion, of course.
Right, but the point is that
right.
Carl, like everyone I talk into their soul knows, there's a reason they won't come up here, because they want to do 90 Day Fiancé, because girls just want to have fun, and it's harder to be on the field and leave it all on the field than to sit in the sidelines and talk about what the men on the field did and didn't do.
And
that's why I do
later in life that you were just
them right out of their position.
Yeah, and have to confess later in life you never got to play football, but you was on the chain gang. Yeah, right here. I never got to play football. I was too small. 105 fucking pounds. They weren't going to let me play football. So I could be on the chain gang.
I think they think we're nuts for coming up here at all. I mean, I think that's probably how they view it, but I like it, man. I enjoy it, so I'm going to keep doing it.
Right, so we're nuts for coming up here at all, but like I told you, I come here and I'm doing better than ever on all levels. I started in a 10. I'm now in a trailer. I make a living better than I did before working, running my mouth, and I get to choose my own schedule. I choose to go long, to work on my work ethic, to hone my craft, so that sometime in the future I could be really good at what I do, whittle that down, concentrate it, and go somewhere with it. I'm going to be successful. I already am, as far as my own metric. I do that for me. So, again, Carl's not going to have the ability living like this, because he could think we're insane, but he comes here to watch and listen to us and hate on us. So that shows already how powerful we are on some level, just to that one being. If we weren't, we'd go hate on somebody else.
There are some people, and it's funny, you know, because there's a song that says it. There are some people just don't want to fly. And Carl's exactly one of those. He's one of the guys that I see that sits on a couch watching somebody else's traumatic life, drama or experience or magic show or comedy or whatever. And when the sirens and lights hit him, he goes out to the door and he looks out. A couple blocks down the street, they're arresting one of his friends. He goes back to watching the fucking boob tube. Next thing you know, he's watching the boob tube and then lights and sirens going off again. He looks out the door. Down the other end of the block, they're taking away another one of his friends. The next night, the same fucking thing. They're across the street taking away. The next night, the same fucking thing. They're taking away his neighbor. When the fuck you think they're coming for you, Carl? Fuck nut.
Yeah, he doesn't get it. A lot of these folks just never get, because they're confused, they never get what we're saying and they never feel it, right? Many will look, not see, with the ears listen, not hear, with the heart not get the sense of it. I gave up the normal life that everyone else lives willingly to prove to myself that I could be value able without working someone else's position and vision. And I just told you, Carl, and the rest of the slaves, I've not only did that, I've surpassed it to the point where I'm surprised at some of the results. Okay? So I've been contacted by folks who in this community are looked at as highly regarded. They contact me to defer to me for what I know and what I do and the results I get. So I've already touched a place, tent or no tent, trailer or no trailer, of folks deferring to me and having respect for me based on who I am, what I do, what I know, how I apply it, and the results I get, because they can't do that or choose not to because they're scared. So this is what you don't get. Tent or no tent, it will always be better being me nowadays than it is being you. I really mean that. You know it to be true. You could make $1 billion next month. You're a taxed up, coded out, policy following slave with fear in your heart. I'm not. I live by faith, not by sight. So you could look at my tent and laugh. Look at the motherfucker that's in that tent and what he's able to create, co-create, inspire, energize, and the results that come from not only that being, but the beings who interact with that being. There's your measure of worth.
Well, and I was in a tent not too long ago, and it was not the first time. And let's face the reality that not very many people move on from a tent to anything else other than maybe eventually they get put in like a single room occupancy somewhere. I mean, nobody goes anywhere from that. So, I mean, there's something to being able to come up from nothing to something. Like, that is a real thing. And not many people do it.
It's called self-made, and Carl ain't it, and most of the slaves ain't it, and they're never going to be it because they have no self-worth, self-esteem, and self-successive practice. All they know is coming places like this to yap in a chat box. They're pathetic embarrassments.
Well, I appreciate their comments, but I understand where you're coming from as well. But it's like, I already know that Carl's going to twist things in a certain way. So if I already know that ahead of time, it kind of doesn't mean anything. I know it's just how I view it. And it's funny, like, since I don't really get bothered by it or react to it, he doesn't do it to me that much, but he still does it some. You know, he's got to keep his street cred, I guess. In the his metaversal cred.
Yeah, Carl.
But I understand that
we don't live in tents. And I do tell you, and honestly, you better believe me, I would rather live in a tent. Jesus lived in tents. What a better way to prove. Fucking dumbasses. You don't get it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, but, I mean, I don't know. And I wasn't trying to convince anybody. That was just my own take on the matter. So, anyway, I can't ever kick y'all out, Paul, but I am going to have to wrap up at some point. But you're welcome to hang out as long as you
I'm going to jump
like.
out. I got folks backstage that I've been having waiting there, so I'll see you later, Ben.
Yes, sir. Y'all be good.
All right. Peace to you.
Yes, sir.
Same here. Jesus, just praise him. That's the way, folks. I'm out. Love to God.
Praise God. Amen. Praise Almighty God in the mighty name of Christ Jesus. Boy, that was something else, man. That was something else. Woo! I don't even know what to say on the heels of that. Yeah, I mean, but Robin, see, this is what I want to talk about. And, you know, I'm very careful, you know, when Paul's around, because I don't speak for anybody, not that he would let me. And the fact is, my belief is that it's not possible to opt out of the beast system. But that's, again, like Wizard was saying, that's my opinion. Now, I come on here and I say it very strongly, and I say it as if it's a fact, because it is a fact to me. But I don't believe that it's possible. I don't believe it's possible to opt out of the beast system. We all necessarily have to interface with it. And if you listen very carefully to what Paul says, he himself was on you, and I don't think this discredits him or is a bad thing. He himself said on Yurt's panel, he's talking about using certain legal mechanisms in very specific ways, especially using legal trusts. And this is and I can't even say that word correctly because of my accent, but a legal trust. And I think a lot of people, they're not hearing what Paul's saying and they're missing the nuance. And I'm able to catch a lot of this nuance. So that's what I talked to. Me and Kim had a conversation after the live stream that I ended so that everybody could go watch Yurt, because I don't want there to be any sort of, you know, we don't need to be live at the same time. So somebody's like, hey, Yurt's going live in 15 minutes. But that's what I was talking to him about. And Kim was like, well, I didn't actually know. Kim didn't understand that Paul is coming at things based on Paul's own statements in very specific ways. He's not talking about these things in generality, right? And I think that's what gets lost in a lot of this. And I did my live stream last night where I spent about 2.5 hours listening to mainly Jeff, and that's was going to be the focus of this live stream. Listening to Jeff and Austin Murphy, who's always welcome around here, and I appreciate his contributions. But I was listening to them just have these drunken, rambling conversations, and I'm not really able to get in a word edgewise, and that happens a lot on these panels where people are not necessarily picking up on this nuance, and then this is what Jeff's got the spirit of his mama. He's in his feelings, and now I see him over on Yurt. I'm catching the replay, and he's completely misrepresenting what happened over here last night and this morning. It was my morning. By the time I go live, I've already been to sleep, and it's 3:40 local time. I'm going to be asleep and within an hour and a half, so I will have to wrap this up. But why is all that nuance lost? I did not say things that are being attributed to me. Now, Jeff was careful not to say, well, Benton said, but nobody called Jeff a communist. I specifically pounced on, and anybody can go find it in the live stream. He spoke in a very specific way. I said, that's communism, and I firmly believe that. I did the same thing with Provo Kid. He might not care. Provo Kid literally might not care, but I said, that's communism, and I believe that. I may not be borne out to be correct in the long term, right? Time will tell. Was I accurate in my assessments? Maybe I was. I don't like that. The lighting's bad in here. It's warming up. I'm in Texas, and it's the air conditioner barely. Well, and also I'm wearing too many clothes. But I like your name, Indomitable. Yep. No, and I am a corporate. This is what Paul says. He listens to how people talk, and I know what I am connotes, right? So I am interfacing with this system at the level of a corporate slave. That's what I'm doing, right? Now, I don't believe that's my identity, but some would say that it is. Like, it's at least muddying the waters, is it not? Until I do what I intend to do and I get my act together, because I do intend to learn these matters enough to really interface with the system in a way where and what's it's going to come down to is, what do I feel comfortable with? Now, do I feel like I can make justifications for my behavior? Yeah, I do. But the fact is, and I almost slipped up in my verbiage, see, I almost said I am. I'm not that thing. But do I want to leave it up for doubt? I think that's ultimately, if I really believe, as I do, that this is a spiritual war between the forces of good and the forces of evil, do I want to leave room for doubt? If there's a judgment, like I believe there's going to be after this, do I want, and I believe I'm going to face my maker, that's what I think is going to happen. Do I want to leave it to where now maybe Satan gets to present his case, like the movie The Devil's Advocate, right? Maybe what Paul refers to as Shaitan gets to be the prosecutor and say, well, yeah, Benton makes a compelling case, but actually, and he starts going to poking holes into how I chose to live my life and how I chose to interface, with the beast system, right? So I think there's something to that. But I give a lot of credence to what people like Drew and EBT say. It's like, well, I'm not going to be, my everlasting soul's not damned because I have a driver's license. However, that's not even what Paul's saying anyway, but Paul is putting it in a specific context. So the fact is, I do have access to certain levels of knowledge where I'm not putting this on the audience. I'm not saying you must do this. I'm saying at a certain point, I must necessarily get my act together. That's what I believe, and that's what I intend to do. And at a certain point, the rubber's going to meet the road. It's like, is Benton actually getting his act together? But I've kind of gone the other way. It's like, I understand that legally speaking, for whatever reason, this beast system has not been able to, maybe it can't. It's never been able to actually pass law to say, in order for Benton to freely move about the realm, he must do this, that, and the third. It hasn't been able to pass those laws, so it does trick us out of our position. Now, where I've challenged Paul's ideas, although not to him directly a little bit, is this idea of what I call de facto, meaning a lot of this has become, it's the practice. So it de facto does sort of become the thing, right? But I've sort of gone the other way with it. All of my driving is in commerce, 99.99999% of it. The other day, I called my company. I said, hey, activate my personal conveyance option. And they said, well, you know, are you under a load? They don't care if I use PC, personal conveyance. They just don't want me under a load. So I was like, no, man, I dropped my trailer at the yard. It's being repaired right now. I have a picture of a fucking tractor hooked up to it. I can't hook up to that trailer and take it anywhere. He's just like, okay, I'm going to turn the PC on, but don't then go pick up a load, right? So that was the 0.00001% of the time I drove my happy ass to Walmart, and I wasn't driving in commerce, right? So there you go. But I really do subscribe to a lot of these beliefs. Like I knew about a lot of this stuff before I ever knew who Paul and Slade were. Because and Drew did also, and EBT also did. Like, we're people who've been looking into these things for a long time. My thing is, you know, at what point am I no longer going to be able to physically do this job? I'm doing this job until my illness becomes so bad that I'm just not able. And at some point, you know, whatever amount of money that is, whatever amount, and I came from nothing to this and more. And I'm not bragging, it's just this. I went from a tent several months ago and no money to this in a very short period of time. And I spent $200. I spent about $200 a week on food. And I spent about $200 a week on nutritional supplements. And I've saved this in that time. So by the time I piece on up, I can't drive a truck anymore, and that's going to happen in the very near future. I'm going to have some of this fiat, and then I'm going to go about learning all of these things I need to learn. And my intention is to begin to practice these things because I find value in it. It's not for me to tell y'all to find value in it. I truly do find value in it. And by the way, my belief is that the only way I can prove I find value in it is to act upon it. And at some point, Paulie needs to get a piece of this fiat, in my view, because how else I can tell him till I'm blue in the face that I value what he's doing, until I bless him with some of this fiat. And when he at some point gets up off a 12-hour broadcast and takes his ass to town, wherever that is, old Paulie might need a little fiat in his pocket, y'all, to conduct his affairs. Now, if he does that through whatever means he does that through, I don't know. Maybe I'm donating fiat to a PayPal that belongs to a trust. I don't know. I don't care. All I know is at a certain point, however Paul feels comfortable, he's probably going to be able to drop one of these and one of those, and I'm probably just going to go ahead and drop some money on it. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm not here to convince anybody else to do that. If anybody else feels moved to, please do. It ain't a telethon. If you want to, go ahead. But Robin's point is well taken. I don't believe I can this off the grid is a bunch of nonsense. You ain't off the grid when you're on the motherfucking internet. You ain't off, and I'm not talking about Paul. Somebody says they're off grid. They drive their diesel pickup to the big box store at least twice a month. They ain't off the grid, y'all. That's the most surveilled space in public, is the motherfucking parking lot and the inside of the big box store. We know this. But we necessarily have to interface in this beast system. I keep forgetting his last name. It starts with a P. We'll call him Jeff P. And you missed a lot. Shout out to Chalk Body Outline, by the way. If anybody needs graphics, go to his website, chalkbodyoutline.com. And I don't know that the man works for free, but he's really good at graphics. He did all my thumbnails and all my channel graphics on the channel. So if anybody's interested. And I like working together, man. Like, I think the more that we, the so-called truth community, can work together, we're only, the people who interface in these, whatever this is, whatever you want to call it, we can only necessarily build ourselves up if those people, and I don't like to say we, if those people want to work together. Why should I learn how to make motherfucking graphics when I know Drew, and I only am even on here talking to y'all because I ranted and raved into my microphone, and I emailed Drew an MP3, and he put me on his channel. And then I started a podcast out of the thing. Thanks, JFK Beta. JFK Beta. And real quick, if anybody's emailing me, I appreciate your emails. If I don't respond right away, it's because you mostly email me, and this is everybody, while I'm literally asleep, and I wake up, and then I read your email, and I'm just not in a space where I can then immediately respond. And then after I don't immediately respond, now I'm kind of into my life and my thing, and I'm not really. I will get to you, I promise. Paul was and not Paul. My apologies. Jeff was drunk as fuck, man, which is okay. I've been all over the internet. I've been all over Discords. Hell, me and Drew did a Sunday night live show on D Live, and I was more or less hammered for most of them. I mean, believe me, I'm not. Nobody's discredited at the level of their own alcoholism. But at a certain point, I just had to say to Jeff, man, like, you're trying to settle our hash. You're fucking drunk, man. And drunk people miss all the nuance. Now, maybe EBT doesn't, because he's kind of on his own level. But drunk people miss, but he is an edgelord. Drunk people miss all the motherfucking nuance. So Jeff got in his feelings and came over here and literally misrepresented and said we called him gay. Nobody called you gay, Jeff. He said I called him a communist. No, I did not. Did not call you a communist. I referred to specific things, words that came out of your mouth, Jeff, I referred to as that's communism, because it is. Get them, JG. That's right. And JG, I only don't bring you up here recently because I've had as much of your microphone as I can stand. I've had all I can stand, and I can't stand no more, JG. Something's got to happen. If JG would accept charity, I would just send that motherfucker. I would a phone and a goddamn Mint Mobile SIM card would probably just magically appear in a fucking Amazon locker somewhere, JG. But you're way too proud to accept my charity. Meanwhile, I would selfishly be doing it so you can come on my broadcast without your fucked up audio. Get your shit together, JG. Tighten it up. Tighten up, JG. Yes, in fact, you are the nuance, EBT. Yes, you are. And I'm on one, Jack. And I ain't got to be nowhere. I might just keep this thing rolling for a minute. I ain't got to be nowhere fast. Yeah, Matt Walsh is a fucking loser. I agree. He's a fucking bozo. And shout out to my boy Joe Rogan. And I will always claim Joe Rogan. And I don't care what that context is. I hope my boy Bernaire is still watching. I'm claiming Joe Rogan because he made Matt Walsh look like a fool. Yes, he did. Because Matt Walsh is a bozo. But I do like some of the points he makes. He's a fucking bozo. Yeah. And fuck Drag Queen Story Hour. Go and get chalked up. Drew's backup channel. Me and Drew are on there. Just piecing up reversos in general. And just going after all of them, Jack. Yes, sir. Indeed we are. Because I'm again it, y'all. I'm again it. I'm again all of it. Now I got whatever my foibles may be. That ain't got nothing to do with it. Keep it away from the children. Okay? The children shouldn't be nowhere near that weirdo sick shit. Well, but look, some people can drink for fucking years on end, man. I know. I detected very early on, Benton ain't got the physicality for daily fucking binge drinking. And I did it anyway, y'all. And I very much accelerated my issues. And I knew I was doing that. And I really was attempting to check out of this motherfucker. I really was. Because I don't think spiritually I have the option of checking out overtly. But in my mind, it's like, okay, I'm gonna peace on out of here on a technicality. And you know what? The Most High said, sure you're not, buddy. And I can't speak for the Most High, but the Most High said, sure you're not. I still got plans for you, buddy. And I'm here based on my purpose, which is what? To be of service. I don't want to be of service, y'all. That's my function. I'm here to be of service to some of you bozos. And I love you, Carl. And I hope you saw what I did there, Carl. I hope you saw what I did there. That's about as much pushback as I felt like I could give in the moment. I hope you seen what I did there, sir. And I'm going full fucking spirit of where I came from. I'm going full fucking colloquial, slack-jawed yokel, damn near. And I'm hooping and hollering. These poor bastards next to me. Hell, I'm almost slurring my speech. I'm damn near slurring my speech. And I got the Holy Spirit, y'all. I don't care what you say. It's the Holy Spirit. I don't care what you think about the Most High. I don't care if you're atheist. I don't care. I got that Holy Ghost Spirit right now, y'all. And that's fine. I'm vibrating. I'm vibrating. I'm vibing high right now, y'all. Yes, indeed. It's a beautiful thing. That's what I'm all about. And you can ride with me or you can collide with me on that level. No, Carl is on some high level. He got that low level troll. He's got that gear, but there's much more than that going on. But how can I notice this? Well, part of it is shout out to Drew World Order who triggered me for my own good, apparently. Yeah, thanks, Drew, for the triggering. I appreciate it, the repeated triggering. Thanks. Good God. What is this, sir? And me and EBT, and people are like, oh, yeah, dude, me and EBT are as cool as we've ever been. I mean, yeah, I regret yelling at the guy, but it happened. I don't know what to tell you. We kind of wish I hadn't, but I don't know. We're as cool as we've ever been, and we're as cool as we're ever going to be, whatever that means. Yeah, exactly. He should. He should. But Yurt has had some fire streams lately, too, so he's putting in work, so I can't hate on my boy Yurt. But Yurt does get a little paranoid. He's a little paranoid. He's prone to a little bit of paranoia. That's okay. We can accept that. He's a little paranoid. But he can't. Yurt can't shake. He can't get rid of me at this point. That's a non-starter, Jack. I know. I know. But I will admit when I'm wrong, Drew. So at least we have that. And it's becoming a little bit too much of a love fest over here. So, yeah, exactly. I came from my mama. You're right. Shout out to the spirit of my mama. Hey, I'm tough as nails, Jack, and I did not get that shit from Daddy's side of the family. Meanwhile, yes, my dad had twin brothers who could literally go out in public and just tear the fucking town apart and could say whatever they wanted and couldn't nobody tell them otherwise. Yeah, I might have some of that in me, but I never could go out in a physical space and say them words. So guess what? I don't. But back to what I was saying earlier, my boy Richard Pryor released comedy albums in the 1970s. And this is that's the album. And I know you can't see it, but I literally am not allowed to say the title I mean, what is that? We've never fully dealt with these issues. We just haven't. And like Dick Gregory said, when white folks got together and said it's no longer that word that I'm not allowed to say, it's the N word, wasn't a black person in the room. That's real talk, man. That's real. Who polices the speech? But I also agree with Paul. It's like, I don't need to be an edgelord and say that word, but I will say it if I want to. Yeah, sure, of course I will. But do you think I'm mobbing around my hometown? And I will go to my hometown, Paul. And I'm not talking to Paul. But I do kind of want Paul to know that on that level, I do kind of want him to appreciate. I will go to my hometown at some point. I'll just go on a live stream and I will not be saying that word, I can assure you. Because Paul's right. I can't say that word where I come from. So guess what? I almost never say it. And he's right about some of them white boys. They don't come from that environment. And I'm pretty sure EBT will go wherever the fuck he wants in Chicago and will say whatever the fuck he wants. I'm pretty sure the Master Chief will come out of him at some point. That's my read on the situation, EBT. But Paul's right when it comes to most of the white boys. He's right. He's absolutely right. I don't think EBT gives a fuck, personally. But that's my read of the situation. Well, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, JG could fucking live stream for a living if he wanted to. Man, dude, they love the IR. People love this man, especially somebody who'll just wander into a restaurant and politely get somebody's attention and very calmly and non-threateningly, I'm assuming. I was driving, but very calmly and non-threateningly say, "Hey, why did you hold that guy's hand?" or whatever the fuck he said. To some people who culturally hold hands, by the way. Those were Indians, JG. I don't know if you're culturally astute or you were trolling us. It's culturally acceptable for men in India to hold hands with one another in public. I don't know if you're aware of this. Let anthropologist Benton enlighten you, who also figured out Kim's upbringing from a movie, Drew. From a movie, Drew. Yeah, Drew has JG does have a lot of charisma. If he would get his fucking microphone figured out, I would be able to bring him up. I can't deal with it, JG. I've dealt with as much of it as I can stand. Can't stands no more. Something's got to give, man. Yeah. Oh, are we disavowing Andy Dick? Well, he's gone off. He's irretrievable at this point. There's nothing to. He's beyond all redemption at this point. Andy Dick. There's no coming back. He's hilarious. I love Andy Dick. Shout out to News Radio. Shout out to News Radio. Exactly. Exactly, JG. I just cannot. By the way, I love your avatar here because when I go into because I put my birth chart data into the database online, astrotheme.com, and that's the famous person that I have most similar astrology to is that guy and Lane Staley. Yes. Patrick motherfucking Swayze. And I don't think, and I'm not claiming that, but I don't think it's a coincidence that I did used to be so. In spite of my current form, I did used to have a mullet, and I did used to be somewhat arguably attractive to some people. And ex-wife number 2 really loved Patrick Swayze. And I did used to have some muscles, but them days are long behind us, never to return. But enough about me. I see the numbers dropping too. Yes, in fact, he did. You are correct, sir. He did indeed play a conspiracy theorist on news radio. Indeed, he did. Yes, with Andy Dick on the show, on the panel in modern parlance, by the way. And now here we are on YouTube, and tube means television, and now I am the television, Drew. And I didn't come up with these ideas. That's why I always cite Drew, and I don't know where the hell he got it. Maybe Godlike Productions. I don't know. But now, Drew, I'm in the box, baby. I'm a motherfucking Brady Bunch square. And I used to listen to a group called Ned's Atomic Dustbin. And if I had the technology to play music right now, their hit song, although it really wasn't a hit, was called Kill Your Television. And now, not only by the way, I'm one of these bozos who used to mob around for 10 years saying, well, I don't watch television. You know, top of the morning to you, Bob. And how about you? And here I am. Not only that, I still downloaded TV shows and movies on my fucking iPhone. Not my iPhone. I've never had an iPhone. On my smartphone over Wi-Fi when I was, and I am still homeless, JG. When I was living in the streets, and I downloaded all this shit and I watched it on my device. And I went around, oh, actually, I don't watch television. And then now, not only do I watch television, I am the motherfucking television. I've merged. I have been assimilated. The Borg has assimilated me. I have been assimilated. I am Max Headroom. And if you don't like it, turn off your station. Shout out to one of the greatest human beings ever and a literal genius, Iron Mike Tyson. How about you? Literal genius. from Brooklyn, New York, by the way. Brownsville, Brooklyn. Shout out to Sean P. I want to go to Brownsville, Brooklyn just to see the Sean P. mural and maybe check out his local Pathmark. And I believe me, that I won't have no problem. I'll go in the daytime and won't nobody bother me, and I won't say them words. And I'll just be, hey, I'm just here to pay my respects to P. And I'm leaving. Yeah. Well, and this is what I told Yurt, because Yurt just blindly goes off into the wilderness, and we can say, oh well, he's LARPing and he's playing a character. Yes, he is on some level, but then he just blindly wanders into Discords and starts his own Discord and doesn't understand what he's about to subject himself to. And then I just post in the fucking comments on his original channel, hey bozo. I didn't say hey bozo, but parentheses, hey bozo, in parentheses, and then close parentheses. It's called Discord. And then I just literally copy and paste the meaning of the word Discord. Like, it's right there in the title. That's why I'm not on any Discords. That shit ain't good for me. Everybody else do what you want. That shit ain't good for me. Yeah. Exactly. And Illumitami, I got love for Illumitami. He's always welcome here. I can't be involved in he has to smash out Paul Enslaved for whatever reason. I just, that's not me, man. I'm not involved in that. I do appreciate him leaving when he did, because he knew I'm in here. It's like, how do I get out of this? I'm in this for the long haul. It's like at a certain point, I'm going to have to go back to my life and maybe urinate. At what point do I get to actually go to the bathroom? And that's what I learned, by the way, if anybody cares. The 48-hour cavalcade of live streams in which with my truck driver sleeping abilities, I got the minimum amount of required sleep. And by the time Drew went live and I went on his panel, I was more or less just couldn't even track at a certain point and realized, oh, I'm almost like RSO bitten at this point. Like, like the John Travolta from Pulp Fiction meme. I'm just like, I recognized that was where I was, right? So what I learned from that is, yeah, live stream's great, but if I allow it to, just now I'm not even caring for my basic bodily functions, and I'm every once in a while it's like, oh, thank God somebody's on the panel, and I get and fucking urinate, right, into a bottle. Like it becomes that very quickly, and then before you know it, I'm going to sleep, and I point the camera at me, and I'm using my trucker abilities to just go into immediate deep sleep for 3 hours. I think it ended up being an hour and a half. I thought I slept 3 hours that second time, and then I got shout out to what's his name? Not Soul Reed, but the other guy who's kind of like Soul Reed, or maybe it was Soul Reed, and they're trying to figure out, well, maybe Benton's trolling us and he just put up a static image. Dude, I'm not that sophisticated, y'all. I don't troll on those levels. I'm not sophisticated in those ways. I don't have them moves. I don't have those tools in the box, man. Yeah, please do, sir. And then, dude, this algorithm knows what it's doing. Because I emailed my buddy, my trucker buddy Bernaire. I sent him some links, and I told him about my channel. And he said the shit just came up in his feed. So the feed knew, oh, okay, well, at least push this out. And he saw Benton on the side of the truck on my thumbnail, and he was like, oh, I'm going to screenshot this and send it to Benton. And he's like, wait, that is Benton. Fuck. And that's how the metaverse works in mysterious ways, y'all. And we're in the metaverse, man. And I got skills, man, in the real world. Dude, I got hold a conversation skills. I got public speaking skills. I got present a false face to the fucking, I got socially engineer these bozos through a false persona skills. I ain't got that shit on this metaverse, man. So I'm finna develop it. How about you? Oh, yeah, I can't wait. Is that today? Wait a minute. Oh, shit, we got T-minus 3 days. But like Drew said, yeah, Pantera. Like Drew said, nobody sees the misses. It's just, which by the way, nobody sees the misses. What have you done with Layla? I know what happened. He showed his face, and motherfucker, he showed her face, rather. He let her show her face. I know motherfuckers fell in love and shit. Probably sent her all kind of creepy-ass messages, I'm just assuming. Thank you, EBT. See, EBT at least understands me. As much as he's a normie and as much as I'm a weirdo, at least he accepts me for who I am. Thank you, EBT. Thank you. To what? Oh, great. Shout out to Layla, who called it almost 3 years ago. I don't know. Maybe I was there off in RSO land. I don't even know if I was there. I don't even know if I was there, but maybe I was. Layla called it like 2.5 years ago. Yeah, people, truthers are becoming more and more schizophrenic. What have we seen play out? Schizo motherfucking phrenic. That's what we've seen. Yeah. Well, shout out to Mama, by the way. Yeah, I would imagine. I have no frame of reference. But I've been parented, by the way. But yeah, I would imagine that's very tiring. Especially, I can just imagine when Drew's son's running around. I can only imagine what that must be like. Yeah, well, exactly. Precisely, EBT, precisely. Thank God I'm past the obsession with my lower chakras. Thank you, Jesus, that I'm able to circulate the sexual energies within the energy sphere. Although I do find it necessary to TMI, but I do find it necessary to operate the equipment on occasion. Because a shout out to the Eastern philosophies, they will let you know that a man of a certain age needs to. There's a certain function that is served. The man needs to do this a certain times per month for his health, for health reasons. I don't even know what we're talking about at that level. Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, dude, with the book bag, dude. Door to door with the book bag, sir. Knock, knock, knock. Here's Benton cold opening strangers on their doorstep with a book bag, a suit and a tie, 6 years old, literally in his fucking Sunday best. You know, cute little kid, fucking hair sticking up a little bit. Cute as can be, fucking teeth falling out. Here I am, cold opening motherfuckers. Yeah. I know a little bit about that. Yeah. Oh, it's ridiculous. It's child abuse, man. It's child abuse. It's insane. But I learned a lot. I can very easily do a lot of things IRL because of that. I don't ever feel weird in public because I'm just like talking. I was desensitized to coming across as a weirdo in public at a very early age. Dude, I used to knock on doors, and sometimes my classmates would answer the door. And I'm standing there with a motherfucking book bag. I'm like, hey, is your mommy or daddy home? Because they got me doing this ridiculous. This motherfucker right here, meaning the adult with me, has got me doing this. And I'm humiliated, but could you pretty please with sugar on top go get mommy and daddy so I can get through this? Thank you. Yes. But anyway, thankfully I've gotten past that, so it's really not an issue for me. Oh, we already did that. Yeah. Thankfully I've gotten past that, and it's really not an issue. I have no anger towards the JWs anymore, but the shit is wild. By the way, guess who was told the phrase "the truth" all day, every day for fucking 17 years? Oh, the truth this, the truth that. Well, guess what, folks? Truth is manifest. Truth flows. It's in flow. And when you try to, as it flows by, when you try to grab it and hold on to it, it dies. It becomes a dead thing, and it's no longer truth, because truth can never be a dead thing. And I don't care what you say, written scripture is a dead thing. Written scripture can never be the truth, because truth is manifest. And now we get into the traps of the English language. Benton had to figure this shit out for himself, or Benton was going to go motherfucking crazy. Okay? How about you? Indeed. The man said he very heavily implied that he finds me sexy, which is okay, but and then wonders why somebody thought he was a homosexual. But he was drunk, so he probably doesn't remember. But we're going to talk about masculinity and manhood and being accountable. I didn't go on a panel and do that shit. He did. That don't. Meanwhile, I'm not involved in such fools. I'm not involved in such fools. I found it necessary to confess certain things about myself. You know why? Because people can kind of tell, Jeff. People can kind of tell, Jeff. People can kind of tell, Austin Murphy. I'm not accusing. We can kind of tell. Do you really think I wanted to confess things about myself on the motherfucking open internet? Do you think I wanted to go on my podcast that my family most likely listened to? Because when they reference my podcast, every one of them says, well, I didn't listen to all of it, because they want me to know, well, I probably heard that part, but we're going to pretend like we didn't. Meanwhile, I never got accused of that, not one fucking time in my entire life, because I was too busy banging broads. Austin Murphy. When I was your age, Austin Murphy, there was a female in my living space. I don't know what you're up to. It's none of my business, sir. You tell me. You tell me. They was crawling all over me early and often, Jack. And I'm talking about the ladies, sir. I'm from Southeast Arkansas, man. I was a big fish in a small pond. My grandfather was fucking famous, okay? I looked like him. Maybe that was enough. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I had it like that. Yeah. It's not for me to figure out, y'all. But how can Jeff call me sexy? More, he didn't call me that. He described the way I live and then said, that's very sexy. What do you want from me? I don't know what am I supposed to do with that? I'm not involved in that. I have no dealings in that. Yeah. Dude, you ever drink yourself sober? That motherfucker drank himself sober by the time he showed up on the earth. Literally. Dude drank himself sober. Yeah. But see this, there's a lot of repressed homosexuality in these circles, man. There just is. Don't shoot the messenger. I detected it. I said, oh, okay, repressed homosexuality. Okay, Benton's doing a podcast. At a certain point, Benton is just like, here it comes. You know why? Because I'm not involved in repressed homosexuality. I'm also not involved in practicing that. But I'm not involved in repression. You know why? Because repression is always harmful to the individual, you bozos, meaning me. And I am Talcott on a certain level. Once I know something to be harmful, I'm going to knock it the fuck off. Once I know I'm doing damage to me, why would I continue to do damage to me? So if I got to come out here and just say the thing that I'd really rather not say, but it's better for everybody, and we could just, yeah, I got made fun of, and I'll still get made fun of, but it's less and less over time, and I can handle it, although I am from a repressive culture, so it does kind of give me the heebie-jeebies to this day. Whatever that is within me, I don't know what it is. And I did pray it away, by the way. Thank you, Jesus. I've been delivered from that. And that's a demon, y'all. That's a demon. That is a demon. Meanwhile, Benton getting showed porn early and often. My fucking neighbor, one of my neighbors with a goddamn actual satellite dish, somebody unscrambled some porn and made a fucking porn tape, and somehow maybe that was the goddamn government. I grew up 5 miles as a crow flies from a literal federal fucking installation where the government claims to store leftover chemical weapons, nerve gas and the like. And somebody put a porn tape in my hand when I was, 13, 12 or 13. And I've been getting aroused looking at penises my whole fucking life, going back to the age of 12. I didn't understand that it was some kind of J trick I'm getting boners. And yeah, I'm looking at women, but I'm also looking at boners. There's something to that, right? You telling me that's not a demon? Meanwhile, I had a certain point where I'm only watching lesbian porn. I said, yeah, I recognize I'm getting up out of this porn addiction or whatever this porn thing is. Meanwhile, I had women that still looked at porn. I was so normalized to porn, I used to take ex-wife number one to the goddamn VHS store with the porn section in the back, and we used to go home with a porn tape, and I used to watch that shit with my wife, who later became my wife, who probably thought I was out of my fucking mind. I'm just guessing. Look at this bozo. What's he doing? What is this? But I don't know how to talk about it other than to talk about it. I don't know how to talk about this shit without just talking about it. And that's how we got to talking about the bang bangs when I first went on the Discord. And this gets misconstrued. When I heard people tiptoeing through the tulips, I finally just said, look, are we going to talk about this shit or not? Because if I'm not allowed to talk about the bang bangs, just let me know and I will shut the fuck up about the bang bangs. But meaning the actual tools of the trade. But I don't know how to talk about this shit without talking about it. So what are we doing here? And that got construed as Benton just came on saying, hey, let's talk about that thing. No, I did not. It was a topic, and I said, hey, are we going to talk about the topic or not? You fucking bozos, by the way. Yes. Yeah, Tommy, you are the man in a certain way. Absolutely. But I'm not involved in this where not we, but where you must destroy Paul. And that's your thing. That's on you, sir. I have nothing to do with that. But I also didn't disconnect you the other day. That was Trooper Cop. But, at a certain point, it's like, am I going to be allowed to go back to my life? Because we're at a stalemate here. So shout out to Tommy for piecing on out. Good for you. I haven't. I don't drink anymore. I know I seem that way. I'm aware of that. I am not drinking. No. But yeah, this is how I am on 1 or 2 beers. On 10 beers, somehow I'm fucking sharp as a tack. Believe me, I drink 10 beers and somehow my fucking levels, I can actually, on 10 beers, I can actually talk nicer. Not nicer. I mean, my verbiage becomes nicer. Everything about me gets better. But I drink 1 or 2 beers and I literally have slurred speech. I don't know what to tell you, but I'm not drinking. Maybe shout out to Amazon. I think I will probably just get a breathalyzer. I will breathalyze on live stream. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, exactly. I'm drunk on the Spirit, y'all. I'm drunk with the Spirit, man. That's the thing, man. Drunk on the Holy Spirit. With all that weird sex stuff, I'm telling you, it's literal demons. It's demonic spirits. And this is where I get on Paleo Edge's case. My testimony is Christ Jesus deliver me from wicked spirits, unclean spirits, and demonic spirits. Praise God in the name of Jesus. And there is power in the name of Jesus. I don't care what y'all say. And I'm done. See, that's sermon over. That's it. We don't need to have a religious talk. We don't need to do an hour and a half of I love Mr. Miyagi. We don't need an hour and a half of Mr. Miyagi being able to very intelligently go through the entire fucking whatever the thing is. And he studied it. He knows it. This is not the environment for that. I will happily do a podcast with him and listen to him get into it. I will happily, if he has a channel, I will happily go on there and listen to it. I'll happily be in the live chat. But this ain't that. This is not what this is. Yes, EBT. EBT would become a better version of himself, I think, if he just put on his big boy pants and didn't drink for a couple of months. Because even Benton would go long periods of time with no alcohol. But I would mostly drink a 24 ounce and smoke half a blunt. Or a whole blunt when we were back in the Mexican brickweed days. Benton, 24 ounce and a blunt. Give me a beer and a blunt and I'm good, y'all. But when I have to only go on alcohol because of my job, look what happened. And then combine that with the events of the last few years, now all of a sudden Benton is drinking himself to death. Yep. Well, EBT's still young enough, and he's not young because he's got a 3 at the start of his age, but he can still get away with this behavior. That's the thing. So eventually, I mean, how long is this? This is not sustainable in the long run, sir. I mean, he knows it. He's not an idiot. Half a blunt, yeah. 24 ounce and half a blunt. Yes. That's my zone. And then an hour and a half to 2 hours later, another 24 ounce and the other half of the blunt. It's a wrap. And then because I have a high tolerance, I'll probably smoke another blunt before I go to bed. And then now we're off in the la la land. But not another beer. by the way, because I don't sleep good on alcohol. That's why I drink at 8 a.m. because I had to get drunk enough early enough in the day to be sober enough by nighttime to get some fucking sleep. So I could work an 18-hour day with my commute, by the way. And I called my mom at a certain point. I said, I'm drinking 12 to 18 beers a day, and with my commute, I'm working 18 hours. I don't know how I'm doing this. Oh, and I'm on the fucking internet doing live streams. And I'm doing a Sunday show with Drew somehow. I said, I don't know how I'm doing this. But I still don't know. How did I do that? I don't know. Oh, and with coming off a broken foot and with the long couth. What is this? And still can't smell half the time. Literally no sense of smell half the time. Meanwhile, you got all this weirdo. If you're living bad enough to end up on a porn landing site, the landing page of a porn site, and it's all stepbrother, stepsister, stepmom, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. Benton's an anthropologist. He loves to read, and Benton has read the research that says, well, actually, when families get involved in actual incest, it turns out that to a higher proportion, something's gone wrong with their ability to smell. So I don't think it's a coincidence that there's been whatever this is has been foisted upon the public. A lot of us got fucked up senses of smell, and now the landing pages of the porn sites is pushing out all the incest themes. I don't think that's a coincidence. And with the homosexuality being promoted for all these years, a lot of that comes down to if you're really going to get busy with somebody, it comes down to the smell of the other person. That is a thing, y'all. And meanwhile, science says that even if a woman would normally find a particular man attractive, if she gets a whiff of him, some percentage of the time, she's out and nothing can convince her other than maybe being in a drugged up state or something being wrong with her sense of smell. Once she gets a whiff of that guy, if the fucking hormones ain't right, she won't have nothing to do with it. All of that shit is real. And every one of my girlfriends or wives, they would bury their motherfucking head in my pits and they loved it. And there's something to that. And whatever that is, I don't have the same sin I used to have because I'm probably not living some type of way anymore. I probably don't have the right mix of hormones. And if I've been attacked at the level of my own ability of my sperm to swim up the fallopian tube and fucking inseminate an egg, and by the way, this is how we all got here. You want to be controversial in public? I detect the slurred speech also, Drew. If you want to be controversial in public, all you got to do is speak on this. So if something's happened with my fucking physicality, where maybe I had some level of fertility in the past and now I don't, best believe these broads can smell it. So if y'all have had your fertility subverted by chemical attacks on your gonads, why would these broads want anything to do with you if you can't give them babies? And I will hang up and listen on that one. And apologies for yelling. Because they won't have nothing to do with me anymore. But they used to. So what has changed, y'all? Now I can go drag one up out of a trailer park in Arkansas because I got my hair, my teeth, and a job, and I'm not addicted to drugs. Although that would actually be a negative for some of these ladies. But what is this? Yeah, best days of my life. Oh, my best, yeah, dude. What y'all don't know about Benton is I enjoy my life to the motherfucking fullest, y'all. I was a 5'10" white boy, ran up and down a basketball court with brothers. And they loved me, man. You ever seen the look on a brother's face that don't know that you got it like that, and he goes up for a shot and you send it right back in his face? I have lived my life to the fullest, Jack. Some women responded to me very well back in my day. I got to read a whole bunch of books. I got to learn a bunch of practices. I got to transcend the limitations of my upbringing. I done squeezed the juice out of this motherfucker, y'all. Now I've come to understand I'm here to serve some of you bozos, and I'm some of you, and some of these bozos out here. I don't know what that's going to look like. If I truly believe my job is to be empty myself enough to allow the Spirit of the Most High to come into me on occasion and to work through my mouth and to say some words, whatever that looks like ain't my business. Whatever happens after I speak the words ain't none of my business. And that's why I won't call myself a Christian. These bozo Christians say, I want to serve the most. They say, I'm a bozo Christian. I want to serve the Most High. And they get in their imagination, Jack Talcott, and then they imagine, well, what would that look like if I served the Most High in my life? And they go out in the world and they do an imitation of that. And I will never respect that. I will never call myself a Christian because I don't want to be confused for that. Period. End of story. Thank you, Jesus. And if somebody else, I was resistant to these concepts for many, many years. And this is where I get crossways with tinfoil. When I spent all those years unreceptive, tinfoil, you can't do nothing but wait till I'm receptive. If you really want to help bring me to Christ, you can't do nothing but wait until I'm receptive. So if you detect that I'm not receptive, you can't do nothing but love me. And shout out to Paul Unslaved. Jesus never said to like me, tinfoil. He said to love me. He never said to like me. And I don't like you either. I don't know why, but I don't. So, but if you really think I'm on the wrong track, all you can do is wait around till I'm receptive. And if you see that I'm receptive, deliver the message. That's all you can do. You can't do nothing. You damn sure can't force it on me because I can't process dogma. Thank you, Jehovah's Witnesses. I can't process your dogma. And you can say, oh, it's not dogma until you're blue in the face. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah. Call me. I don't care. I had a religious conversion experience. Who cares? Who cares? Yeah. It's not mine. I'm not here to settle Illumitomi's hash. I don't know what he's got going on. That's not my function. But I'm also not necessarily trying to sit here for 5 hours while him and Paul go back and forth. But I will if that's what it takes. I'd rather not. Exactly. Correct, sir. And I wore a mask, and that the thumbnail, by the way. And I claimed to be over it, and I went back and did it. There's a mask here somewhere in the truck, and by God, I'll do it again if I have to. Because show me a human, I'll show you a hypocrite. I am that. I'm that person that you'll see in public and just assume, hey, look at that bozo slave with this bozo face cover. Yeah, exactly. Precisely, Drew. Precisely. Precisely. Yeah. Thank you, sir. And see, this is a meme right here, and I'm very aware. And I apologize for not seeing it earlier. Yeah. Let the chat, dude. You don't need to. There's no reason to moderate the chat. Let them do what they're. Now, you have to. You have to. But unless the chat forces moderation, there's no reason. And Drew, very good at this, by the way. Drew, very good at not forcing moderation on the chat. Yes. But my organs are starting to hurt. I need to take a piss. If we're going to do this, and I have the luxury of going longer if we need to, somebody's going to have to come up here and save my bacon. Cyclone bit. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Sorry, did you catch some crossfire off of me? Apologies if that was me, Music Cult's a Secret. I do. Once I get a certain momentum going, just people will get caught in the crossfire. Because shout out to Music Cult's a Secret, one of the OGs around here. If he hadn't have been willing to show up here at a certain early hour of the morning, this might not have ever happened, what we're doing right now. Shout out to D-Rex, who was also one of those people. Shout out to Sean, who was also one of those people. Shout out to AJ Lloyd, who was one of those people when he could be. Shout out to Glenn, who was also that person. And also he was the first of those people to actually show his face on the panel. And if people don't want to show their face, that's on them. It's not for me to harangue them into coming on the panel. If they don't want to, who cares? They're contributing and they're here. That's good enough as far as I'm concerned. Thank you, sir. I'm glad you're still here. Glad you're still here. And he's, by the way, my coworker he's astute enough. If he was here, I've said things about me that I would probably he'd rather not know, but so what? It is what it is. That's not my life, but why? I mean, it is what it is. People can kind of tell. I think the people down there can probably kind of tell. Who cares? I don't care. There you go, Tommy. You're right. And there's actually ladies who come around here. To me, that's just insane. And it's not because of me, by the way. It's not because it has nothing to do with me. It's the environment. I would hope. Yeah, shout out to Elle, by the way. Big fan of hers. Yes, indeed. Big fan of Elle's. And look, some of my favorite music is literal lady bands. I love the ladies, and I hate the ladies, but I don't hate them because they're ladies. I hate them because they're human. I'm a misanthrope, but I love the ladies. 100%. 100%. Well, and he's talking. Well, Bernier came into a context that he didn't understand the larger context, so he's necessarily trying to piece that. By the way, shout out to him for being able to piece some of that together in the moment. That's a sign of intelligence. So, yeah, I mean, there's lots of stuff that is, and or guys in tight white tight pants patting each other's bottoms is kind of gay. Talking about football players, and as much as I like to play basketball, nobody ever patted me on the butt when I was doing it. I wasn't never really into that type of culture. The old slap and tickle. Not my thing, y'all. Not into it. All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up on. I'm going to do some crowd work here and wrap it up. But, I am about 45 minutes overdue on a pee break, and I can still actually go to sleep by a decent hour. So, for me anyway, I'm usually asleep by 6:30 at the latest. There you go. Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of that, man. There's a lot of that going on. Well, and with me living in the streets for so long, and especially after I had my unexplained weight loss, so for a lot of that, I still had most of my muscle mass, and I've got pictures I'll show you one day. I'll dig up the pics. I got the receipts, but at a certain point, I fit the profile I fit the profile of a white meth head, even though I've never done that drug. And I understand some people will never believe me. That's fine. It's true. But I recognize, there's a lot of people, especially these black guys, and these black guys know that these white meth heads will do anything once they get on this gay dope. And that I've been wandering through a parking lot in downtown Little Rock at 3 a.m, but I had been to sleep and woke up. I wasn't up all night. I wasn't on stimulants. And I've had random old black guys try to drive up to me because they think I'm that thing. And I'm like, look, man, I understand that you think I'm that thing you're looking for. And I understand because of how I live my life, I know how those people are, but I am not that thing, sir. So bye. And then they're not wanting, it's like, hey, they've got the drugs. They think I want the drugs. Let's have a party. And it's like, okay, if that's what they want to do, if that's what you want to do, not you, the listener, you, the black man trying to approach me, I'm not that thing, sir. And eventually, okay, and I might have to cuss them out. Be like, hey, man, get the fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck out of here. You're not welcome here. Take your ass back the way you came from. and go find whatever you need to find. But this is not that. So I know, based on his behavior and deductive reasoning, now I know everything I need to know about a certain group of people. I don't care how they live. Leave me the fuck out of it. What's wrong with that? Anyway, yeah, I used to love football. Unfortunately, I've come to realize that it's fake. And I won't even go into the fact that I'm related to somebody in a specific way with respect to the NFL and literal fucking NFL statistics. I mean, I'm not even going to get into that, but yeah, exactly. When I was so repressed, like I wouldn't even fucking shower. Like I'm not gonna get in a. Now there's a couple of times where I more or less had no choice, but dude, I'm not trying to be in an open fucking shower situation, or I wasn't then. I mean, now it's just like, who even cares at this point? But I'm 47, and that's kind of the trope about the old man in the YMCA or whatever. It's like at a certain point, it's like a 70-year-old man, 70-year-old men literally playing pool butt ass naked, right? So I understand I'm kind of aging into that. But when I was in fucking high school, dude, my junior high, one of the bathrooms, no stalls, just toilets on the fucking wall. I'm not going in there and taking a shit. Are you crazy? Like now, I'll just hold it. I'll do what I got to do, man. What is this? Repression. Repression. Anyway, my gout is now telling me that I'm. Well, let's just keep going. Whoever's here after I do what I got to do for 5 minutes, we'll just do that. BRB.
Message. I can tell that no one's replying to him by the fact he comes back to me. And then he'll stop a call with me to go get on Paul's show immediately, dude.
Ben, can I get
I was
them
gonna be a
back into the
fucking
now?
detective.
Ben, can I get you off the road and into the now?
Bro, is that road?
Get out of my dreams. Get into my car right now.
That's right.
Are those lines on the road even real, brother? Just drive
Are
off
those
the
real
road.
lines, brother? Is that real?
I don't know if the lines are real, but it's real when I wake up to. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
shit! I better pull over and go to sleep.
No
Is
shit.
it real? Is it real when I'm still in your imaginations when you sleep and y'all are waiting for my text messages? Is that real, man?
Dude, it's what's real is like whenever
Dude,
you've been coming off
you
a
look like-
30-day meth
you look like
binger
you're related to
and the meth is
like-
reducing in your system while you're driving like 100 miles an hour down a mountain road and you're like nodding off while you're rolling down a mountain. To this day, I have still never, despite watching old videos and despite all the pineal slow-mo, to this day, I have yet to hear a real-time holy. I have never heard one naturally, so I'm not going to seek it out. see how long it takes me to hear a real-time holy from Jack.
Get out of
hear
your
slow mo.
imagination. Get into the now. I'll give you a holy.
What?
Oh, I'm gonna massage my legs a little bit though. Hold on.
I'm yelling at my
Rub
dog.
your knees. Rub your knees
I
together.
need to hold on. I really need to massage my legs for a bit. Hold on. That's where it comes from. Deep.
Yeah,
deep
Jack
in my-
always says that. I'm like, that's not my leg, Jack. I know it's easy to mistake.
Oh, hold on.
I've been on.
I gotta get deep in deep meditation. Hold up.
All right, go ahead.
Ben's on the road. We all just hey, let's do this meditation together. Hold on. Oh, 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 oh.
In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose.
That's just a warm. That's a warm up. Hold on.
In through the nose.
I wish I'd never fixed that volume problem.
That's right. Breathe in deep.
You got this, brother. I believe in you, brother.
Oh.
There you go.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh. Oh.
Get out. Wait. Get out.
Oh.
Brother, out of your imagination. Get in.
Oh.
Into the now, brother. Get into the now. Into the now, brother. Whoa.
Right.
Dude, that was good. That was good, brother. That was good.
Did you guys get it? Were you there with me?
Yeah.
Will both of you help me stand on truth though with the place I'm not allowed to go?
No, I'm only in my imagination.
Listen. I don't care
No truth.
how stupid. I don't care how fucking stupid Jack Talcott is. If he gets a monthly check from the government because he hurt himself in the military, he has a goddamn right to that. That is not welfare. He's not a slave. The fucking military that Paul used to call murderers fucking hurt Jack Talcott. He gets to take that check. Even if he lives out of a fucking cardboard box, if he gets $300 a month for an injury, he gets it, man. He got the injury. Like, get that unslaved shit out of my face. It's not a handout. It's not like he just sat on his ass and didn't get injured by the military. My friend that died in the desert, he gets $40K a year for taking a big old chunk of shrapnel in his back from an IED and dragging his medic out of that wreckage with no calf muscle, who still calls him probably on a day or a birthday or whatever once a year at least. My friend lost a friend over in Iraq by a non-combat natural auto accident in Iraq. He's seen 3 tours of busy dead. Not that Austin has. I'm sure Austin has seen his own shit. My friend was just, I don't think Austin was old enough to get there as soon as the guy that was 2 years ahead of me in high school, I think.
I don't disagree with you, man.
No, came back a different man kind of thing, Coral, but I do like to fuck with these streets by saying, yeah, my friend died over there in the desert. And I can still go see him. He's still raising his kids 60 miles away, but he died in that desert.
Not for a solution, if I may.
The resolution is an injury payment from the Army is not welfare, and that institutionalized 30-year-old virgin
No, Tommy,
stupid
you're not
when he says shit
listening.
like that.
If I offer my opinion, you're gonna have to listen.
Oh, that's right to every Talcott I've ever met so far.
Look, right now.
Can I see your dog?
Hold on, Tinsel. Hold on, Jack or Jeff. Chat's actually worthy tonight. He was an MS-13. He had Mexican gang members in the military try and tell him he couldn't wear his black beanie because that was their thing. And since he was like 250 steroids, it was like, well, you can come take this black beanie off if you think you can. And that was the guys on the same side, you know? But no, he was white, Italian. He looked like a 6-foot Edward Furlong, pretty much. Like, and even in high school, he had the Edward Furlong Terminator 2 hair, but he was like 6 foot tall. And now he's 6 foot tall, like steroid muscle, but still looks. He probably shaves his head now. Probably has a high and tight or something. He could, after the desert killed him, he could never have hair on his ears again. He's still high and tights. Oh, are you talking about me now, Rusty? I'm waiting. I'm waiting for those questions. I bait these. I mean, I'm not baiting, but I give things
You're always
expecting to ask.
baiting. That's the problem.
Because I have to look
You
at
should
what
just
you
get
don't ask
out of it
too.
now. Stop baiting, Tommy. That's the
I
problem.
don't bait. The
You're
reason
baiting
people think
all
I
the
bait
time.
is because I can work with almost anything. If I have something on it, I can work with it. But I don't have to
That's
bait.
dirty,
It just
Tommy.
looks like I'm baiting.
You're baiting while baiting.
Freedom Grower used to tell Paul, "Oh, it looks like Tom kind of baited you on that." No, Freedom Grower, I just remember. I just remember things. Rusty Smackleford, come the fuck on it. We can stall Jeff a little bit. Come the fuck up and let's talk about it, bitch. Like, I'll show receipts, but not the receipts you want. I'll show you a brokerage paper that says I'm down over 100 grand in 2 years, but I won't show you how much I have. I'll just show you some negative 100 grand and how I'm not worried about it. And you can mail me that fucking jacket when I'm done too. Put something on it. Because I want to hear about my following and my fan club. You're the one that see them.
Oh,
you're broke. It's okay. No, you're broke because you're not going to replace that jacket when you mail it to me. We're going to see you sit here without any kind of cool jacket. And then I'll show you the jacket I got like cop blood on and friend blood on and enemy blood on. And I ain't never been in the military. Everybody, because people bullshit, that means everybody bullshits. And if I default to everybody's full of shit, I'll at least be right?
Well, yeah, it's just it's a lazy, bad pattern, is what it is.
And it's too many people, Benton.
It's almost everybody. It's almost everybody.
Yeah. And that's why they get scammed. That's why they get STDs. That's why they get deceased real fast. God damn. It's like if I was evil, man, I would be ruling people, stealing people. Like, I would be doing everything Paul thinks he's rapping about if I was evil. The only reason I don't cut this loose on the world in a negative way is because it's still too fun to wrong criminals and fuck with people that need to be fucked with.
Hey,
everybody say, Tom, you shouldn't do that shit. And I'd be like, let Sky Daddy work it out.
Hey, Austin Murphy. I'd love to hear your opinion.
See, this is how fucking remedial Rusty Smackleford is. Like, rattlesnakes are evolving to not rattle, and he doesn't fucking get it. He's a fucking remedial Pokemon catch-em-all fucking adult. Fuck that fucking... Oh, what the fuck are they? Between Zoomers and me. Fucking
what is he talking about?
Millennials. Austin. I can never remember millennials because Zoomers are even crazier. But Rusty Smackleford is like a grown millennial POS nobody. Tommy, he doesn't know shit. He isn't shit. I see how dirty the fur part of your fucking collar is on the jacket you'll mail to me if you want to get some truth. And I mean, let's put the shit up that you want to know, and then let's put the shit on the table of when I prove this, the jacket is in the mail. No, Rusty, I'm spiraling that there's a man under me doing a jack off thing that I know he will put it on the table when it's time. That dude could just suddenly appear in front of me during a riot, and I'd say, Austin, let's get the fuck out of this riot, my dude. And Rusty Smackleford, I see a guy that, like, you've probably given hand jobs to get into a concert to, like, a bouncer or something. And the jizz of that is probably on your furry jacket collar. You Pokemon fucking bitch. I don't even use emojis. Rusty Smackleford. I don't even use emojis unless it's to be funny at the person that shouldn't be using emojis like Jack. Rusty Smackleford, you are nobody. I mean,
emojis.
I don't want to wobbly boost you, Rusty Smackleford, but I don't even acknowledge wobbly boost. But I might switch places with you. I might make you the no acknowledgement and start talking to Wobbly Boost.
Austin.
¿Qué
Brother.
pasa, güey? Órale, güey. Hijo de la güey, chingado a la
I would.
No, Rusty, I'm gonna let these guys talk but for me to do a good
No,
takedown,
fuck
you
them,
have to come
motherfucker.
up. You got to come up to get taken down, just like you have to
Yeah.
bend over to
Fucker, you
take
gotta
it.
fucking come up to stay fucking down, you fucking pussy ass motherfucker.
Yeah, he acts like he doesn't know. He acts like he doesn't know what come
He
the
has an
fuck up here
opinion.
means.
He has an opinion. It's not
Brother.
that.
Dude, I'm pretty sure he's old school Paul, is he not? Like, he never had that
He's
picture.
not.
I'm pretty sure Rusty Snackleford is a long time Paul player.
He's got nothing but opinions.
You know,
It's not-
Tinsel, EBT
it's
has
not
always
real.
bent to me.
It's not
EBT
real.
has the only time EBT hasn't had to bend to me is when I got dropped on data. And I'll answer for why I'm rich and can get dropped on data. Come on up here, Rusty. Faggot.
Oh,
When I'm this far
What's
from
up,
the phone,
Ben?
can I get away with
Motherfucker.
faggot?
What's going on, motherfucker?
About to eat.
You about to eat? What the fuck? What's for dinner, man? What's for dinner?
Uber pizza mistake in my favor.
Ben, brother, brother
We got-
Ben, brother Ben.
Hey, what's up?
What's up? What's up?
I
About to eat
love,
something.
Tinsel, where are you hearing this at?
I love to hear.
I'll
I
take
love
on a
to
new
see your
person
face.
that thinks they were doing something when he knows that's why he's not sitting there.
Fucking shut
I
the
like
fuck up,
EBT, guys.
Tommy. For one.
I will,
goddamn-
but the chat fox with me hard right now. All right, I'm gonna give it
Fuck
to you
the
guys.
And fuck the chat. Fuck the chat.
I wish
fuck,
you could shut the
Okay,
fuck up
okay,
right
that's
now.
fair.
now.
That's I never thought of it that way, Austin. You're right.
fuck the chat right now. This is about
Oh, you never thought of
This
anything
is
about
about-
yourself?
This is about what Benton is doing and what Benton is eating for dinner. That's what the fuck this is about. Fuck the chat. What the fuck are we eating for dinner, Benton?
The same thing I always eat 4 times a day, which is tuna fish, beets, carrots, and 2 of those meals have sweet potato. And I eat that every day for
Oh, Leon, that
You got
however long now.
you got vegetables in there. You got all of it, man. You got all of it. You're good.
Well, I have a medical condition.
Okay.
Yeah, if I eat a candy bar, I'm in bed for 2 days sick.
Really?
Literally.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm fucked up, man. I'm all fucked up.
Is that like
Yeah.
being serious now, motherfuckers? So hold on. Is that like diabetes or what is that?
No, thankfully I don't have diabetes. I most likely have pancreatic cancer, among other things. Most likely. Yeah. I'm not going to doctors though, ever. So fuck doctors. Hey, are we calling Talcott? I hear a phone ringing.
I was calling my sister, but she just phoned me. I wanted
So
her
did
on
I
the
miss it, or like how can Talcott sit on Paul's show so long and you're not just like there doing this?
Is that your opinion?
Like
or
even
your
if I
imagination?
missed it, why aren't you like 72 hours a day sitting there next to Talcott on Paul's show when he's there?
Is this your imagination?
So are you also Lauren de Butthole or whatever it was?
Lauren De La Bluna?
No, the I forget what the name was, but some facial haired lady
Yes.
popped
yes.
on as
Lauren De La Bluna. Creature.
yeah, but what name did you use?
Yeah, Lauren De La Bluna.
Oh yeah, okay. What's her real name then?
Lauren De
Guna?
Laguna.
Okay, Guna. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, I had fake tits. That was me. In your
But
imagination.
she doesn't have fake tits.
I don't know.
But I mean,
I'm not there. That could be in your imagination.
to make your character right, shouldn't she get fake tits too?
Okay, pasta.
You'll do the fucking girl and change her name by one letter, and you won't comment on whether she should get fake tits or not. Can you get in the now, please?
I'm playing characters. Do you not get it, Tommy? Are you just
I'm the first to play characters around here. Of course I can. I got fucking
No.
skins, yo. I can be a fucking
No.
alien if I want.
That's not playing a character. That's just you being a dumbass.
Yeah, but I'm gonna, now that my name is the way it is, I'm gonna start refining some of these characters, and I'm gonna need a Cash App to know where to do them and who to do them to.
So in your imagination, you just saw me for the first time, but you didn't see me. You didn't see me as Jeff Harlow. You didn't see me as Lauren De La Bluna or Fabiola, the little dwarf. Oh yeah,
Okay, I don't think I've seen that one.
reel back the tapes.
What?
Brothers, look. I love you, Tommy. Look.
Bro, Illuminati was
I love you, brother.
Illuminati was one of the first people to play characters. Bro. I swear to
Oh.
God.
Is that meth, Tommy?
Bro,
Meth.
Natomas, California, Sacramento, Natomas. Let's kick it.
Sending out an SOS. Sending out an
What are you eating, MREs? MREs?
It's not like an MRE. Here's the actual one I'm eating. I got two different kinds. The first one I showed you, the SOS
Tommy,
one.
why are you so fucked up?
Those SOS ones are so good, I eat them with coffee. But this little chalky one I'm trying to get down, I just got today. It's like primary coconut, but it don't really have a flavor. But there are these things from like the Navy or some branch where rather than an MRE, it's like 3 of those bars a day will just
Hey, can we
give
bring
you
it back
enough to
to
survive
me?
while you wait for someone to find you or something.
If I may, can we bring it back to me into the now?
Now you're doing a good Jack. Like you
Yeah,
can be telling him how he can save his house, and he's like, "You're talking about you."
Look, yeah,
Oh,
holy, look, brother.
oh,
I think I kind of look a lot like him. I'm like, oh,
oh,
oh.
Can I offer you my 17 million different opinions, my brother?
Let me
I
tell
can
you why
offer you
Austin doesn't want my MREs, but Paul and the vegetarian crew probably want my MREs.
Look,
Because these
Illuminati, no one cares, and no one even asks about your MRTs. And I don't know why you want to tell us.
Oh shit! I got to change the
So
camera around.
let's just get back to the now and shut the fuck up.
Well, I gotta wait till the TV
Yeah,
catches
can
up.
we just
so I
talk
can
about
see
Jack?
the TV
Yeah,
one point.
let's talk about Jack.
Those ones right there.
Let's
Those
Ben was
aren't,
about
let's discuss what's important right now, okay?
well, those are
let's
like
get back to
the
the
type
now.
of MREs that America will drop on a country that they bombed. So they are both kosher and vegetarian, but I am not vegetarian. I just got those because they were cheap,
brother.
and I tried enough of them to know they're edible when you like need food. It's not about enjoying it.
Brother,
You know what? You know what else is edible?
I talked to the president, brother. I went to DC. I talked
You
to
know
the
what else?
president.
I'd rather talk
Sorry.
to Jack Talcott than the president.
Okay, brother. All right, brother.
I don't mean Jeff. I mean literally Jack Talcott. I'd rather talk to him than the president. It's actually probably the same thing. A lot like probably similar.
Yeah, because my faith is now. Now is faith.
What? Hey, that sounds a little
You're-
corn pop. Corn pop never had no faith. He's bad
Honestly,
dude.
now
Come on, man.
Now is the future. The future is now. Now is the
Yeah.
present.
Yeah, I'm the president. Yeah, now I'm the president. Yeah.
I
like this
woke
Talcott.
up today, man.
brother.
Yeah.
Brother Jeff, brother.
Today
Brother,
I woke
I
up
lived,
this
brother.
morning.
I've waited my entire life, brother. Brother, I've waited my entire
Hey,
life.
Jeff. Hey, come on, man. Come on, man. How you do that bliss? How you do that bliss, man? Come on.
Because
Brother,
I'm
brother,
look,
brother.
it's
I've
because
lived
I'm in
my
the
entire
now.
wait for this day, brother. I've waited for this day right now, brother. My entire
Now,
fucking
excuse
life.
me, young man. Yeah, hey,
Yes, Austin,
Hey.
I agree with
hey,
you.
Austin. Come on, man. I'm your commander in chief. Come on, man. Let me ask Jeff Talcott a question. I've been waiting a long time. This is your commander in chief. Come on, man. Hey, Jeff Talcott. Whenever I want to do the bliss, I find me a little girl. I get down on her hair. I go, is that how you do it? Is that how you do bliss?
Brother, just feel my leg hair in the bathtub, brother.
Yeah, rub it down. Rub it down. Watch it come back up again. That might be your bliss.
Yeah,
Austin, brother, you may need to arrest Illuminati on
Hey,
many
one of them hairs ain't going back down again. It's getting up. It's getting up and it's getting bigger.
I know, brother. The roaches, brother. The roaches. They touch my hair in the bathtub,
I think my Biden was turning into like GW the second.
brother.
It was like
Like a-
migrating toward George W. Bush.
It's like a Biden cot.
brothers and sisters.
Joe Talcott.
Benton, are you pulled over? I don't see any flashing lights in the field.
I
Can you
was.
bring it
Now
back to
I'm
me?
getting back on the road.
Well, I meant like
Can you bring it back to
detained.
me in the now and the faith?
Can we just talk about
With-
me, brother?
With faith is honesty, purity is truth, truth is love, love is God, God is peace. Peace means no war. War
No
is
war,
bad.
I am.
Smackleford.
I am.
Hey,
God.
I hope you guys understand what's going on here, okay? All right.
They
Just
don't.
roll with it. Just roll with it.
Just fucking go with it, man.
Uh-oh.
That was my try. Anyways,
What's up, Jeff?
What's up, man? We're done.
Oh, just
done?
driving.
I wanted to play. Was that good? Was that a good Talcott?
Yeah, I think so. Seemed like it was.
Yeah. Well, that was fun. That was fun for me. So fun for
Yeah,
you?
man. Well, sometimes it's hard for me to track exactly what's going on, but yeah, definitely. I got a kick out of some of that for sure.
Cool.
Yeah, when we get so, I'm just not wired for some of the banter, so I'm just like listening, you know.
I'm in it for the comedy, my friend. So
There you go. I love comedy.
like if we can, that's part of life, man. You gotta laugh. I think look, laugh, love, family. That's a big part of it.
Absolutely.
we're all gonna be fucking dead soon, anyways, right? That's how I look at it. We're all just gonna be fucking dead.
Well, hey, dude, like, hey, real talk,
The-
real quick. Besides just joking around.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not trying to interrupt you, Austin. Go ahead.
No, bro. Fucking go.
I look at us as all we call ourselves adults, right? Or we're all kids. Like we're just a bunch of 6 foot babies. Don't know shit. the only thing that we're taught is what our parents told us, but we're all lost like little souls, not figuring out what the fuck we are. And so we gather, Why is this so interesting? Like, to watch Benton drive. This is cool. I'm watching his life. Why is it cool? Why is it cool to watch him just drive down the fucking road? But he catalogs it. Everyone's trying to escape their own shit. That's my opinion. Do you agree or not?
Yeah, no, I 1,000,000% agree. And it's also the human interaction and the fact that I can relate to Benton's personality and what he's doing, and I can relate to you and your personality, and I have fun with it, and it's just it's a human experience, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, it is, bro. I can go fucking watch football or baseball or something.
Well,
And
but hey, but
it's just like I can go put on a fucking some bullshit game or something, you know. But I'd rather sit here and have a human experience with some motherfuckers that I have no idea. I don't even know who you are, you know. But we're having
Brian. Brian's with you, right?
Yeah, but we're having fun with it.
Yeah, so I mean, like, I'm actually your neighbor too. I could come stay with you tomorrow. We can make a stream about it. Probably get a fucking ton of views.
Who are you talking to?
Yeah.
All right, that was Truth or Cop. Thank you, sir. I like that. Truth or Cop got in. He gets in where he fits in. That was cool, man. Much appreciated. I'm assuming that the video stopped. Well, I don't think he curated the content anyway. He might have just went to a random spot. I'm not really sure. It was such a long live stream. It's hard to remember what all occurred in what order. I'm a little lost on where you're at. I'm not quite up to speed with where you are, Tommy. Yeah, we're talking about mercury fillings. My sister had all of hers removed and replaced. I guess they use ceramic or something. I don't know. I got a head, dude. Man, this dentist, he's seen my parents coming, man. My parents had a good income. My dad had a successful small business. Bro, my mouth is ridiculous. The amount of fillings in my head. Every damn one of them is mercury, as far as I know. Yeah, and I keep breaking teeth. I've broken 2 molars so far. One of them I've had it, filled in, but I don't do. I was in California, went to the dentist, and they make you read they give you the implied consent, and I actually read it, and I was like, nope, we're not doing a root canal, not after what y'all just had me read. They said, oh, we can fill it in. I was like, yeah, let's do that. Now I got another one broken up here. That's a sign of malabsorption, by the way. And I got these. This is what we're talking about with the fingernails, EBT. You probably can't see that, but I got these lines in my fingernails. It's a sign of malnutrition. Oh, dude. Man, I had braces. It was so bad. This motherfucker was milking my parents are just, dude, they just believe whatever they're told, man. Especially back then. And man, I finally just told my dentist, I said, man, I'm not going through my senior year of high school with motherfucking braces. I said, I got these on when I was in ninth grade. And he hemmed and hawed around. I said, listen, man, and if you want to know what Benton's like, I said, listen, man, you're taking these off or I'm taking them off. All I know is they're coming off of my teeth. So you best wrap this up, whatever you're doing here, and let's get on to the fucking retainer stage. But I'm telling you, I am not having braces as my senior year of fucking high school. You jackass. I didn't say all of that to him, but it was certainly implied. He took the fucking braces off my teeth. And I would have taken them off myself if it had come down to it. What a bozo. And then I didn't wear my retainer. I ended up losing my retainer, and my bottom teeth are a little crooked. Dude, my shit was jacked overall. The braces worked out overall for me. Yeah, teeth. Yeah, take that shit off my mouth. No, I mean, this dude was nuts, man. And then I used to get, he used to give me all these fillings, and he'd give me that Novocaine. And I don't know what the problem was, man, but my whole side of my face would be numb. Like, I'm talking like for 8 hours. And I just finally couldn't take it no more. The last time he did three fillings, I said, man, I can't deal with that Novocaine. You got to do something different. He said, we got this other stuff. I said, man, as long as I can't have my face numb for 8 fucking hours. This is crazy. And dude, one of them cavities, when he went to drilling, man, when that drill touched my teeth, just sweat popped out on my forehead. And at a certain point, it was just a battle of wills, because I think he thought I was going to tap out. He drilled all of it. He drilled all three. One of them motherfuckers was deep, boy. He was getting in there. And I was just, dude, he was shook. Hey, JG, by the end of that man was shook. Yes, sir. I imposed my will on him in that way. That's what kind of sicko I am. Fucking Dennis. By the way, shout out to Little Shop of Horrors. I liked that movie does not hold up. Do not waste your time if you've never seen it. But shout out to Steve Martin in that movie. Yeah. Hey, shout out to Moose. Good to see you, bro. I haven't seen that picture of yours yet. Bro, brutal. I had them so long, the cement on the bands around my molars would get loose, and I spent what felt like years just using my teeth to like put the fucking band back around my fucking molar. Oh, it was horrible. I'm on both sides, like, oh, what must I have looked like? Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. What is wrong with these people? I mean, my parents are lucky I even talked to them at this point. I mean, come on, bozos. And then they used to put you on fucking laughing gas. When I had this deal filled in Cali, I was like, oh, no gas? And like, oh yeah, dude, that's just basically like, yeah, that's pretty primitive or whatever. I said, yeah, I was a little kid going to the dentist. They was getting me high on laughing gas. My sister, she fucking loved that shit. She doing them deep inhales. I always hated that feeling, man. Hated that shit. Giving little kids nitrous. What is this? Yeah, exactly. Fucking Dennis, man. Get fucked, Dennis. You're gonna get lumped in with doctors and lawyers, Dennis. At this rate. Watch your ass. Tighten up. Tighten up, Dennis. Oh yeah, the TMJ. My mama had that. I got part of my spiritual practices is I used to really, you can really see my fucking jaw flex when I go. I don't do that. At a certain point, I would get sore. I remember just rubbing my fucking jaw muscles. Although it is kind of not that I believe in this alpha nonsense, but I did kind of like having the strong fucking jaw muscles at a certain point. But let's be honest, no chin on this fella here. He's no sign of a chin in this fella, but yeah, I got a little bit of a jawline anyway. But yeah, at a certain point, I was able to, with the help of meditation. I no longer like whatever that is. My mom grinded her teeth for years, and I came to understand that's aggression. That's what that is, aggression. I want to bite this motherfucker. But you can't. You hold back. I want to punch this motherfucker, but I can't. That's what that is. Well, I'm sure it's a good business being a dentist. And are you an anti-denti? I guess I am. Anti-denti. All right, that's enough. I'm getting bleary eyed. Thanks for watching. Bye.